Get it popping.
Angela.
What's up, everybody? This is Coach Khayr. I got Dre up in the building with me. Mr. Jones is in the building. We're waiting on Doctah B Sirius. He's ready to fall through here in just a hot second. And up here he comes. Tonight we're going to be talking about Wealth is My Birthright, a conversation with the subconscious mind and Doctah B Sirius. Coach Khayr is in the building. Dre is helping me hold it down. Mr. Jones jumped on for a second because he believes the teamwork makes the dream work. And we were just getting the conversation started about, see me, I'm just sick and tired of just broke everything. I'm tired of people talking about nobody's got money. I'm tired about all the excuses why people don't have money. But what about wealthy people and the excuses that they give, you know what I'm saying, or that they don't give? I'm going to start this bad boy off. We're going to get our, what is this, millionaire. If everybody goes to Millionaire Mind Intensive. Millionaire Mind Intensive. If you Google that and then click on images, right? Mm-hmm. You will see the affirmations somewhere on the page. I have them on my wall. Oh, here we go. So, attitudes of wealth, winning the mind game. And Doctah B Sirius, you can come on and just hit the button at any time and jump on in. Dre will let you in. But first off, I want to get the show started and just get the energy set out there because I'm joyous about everything I do. So when you look up secrets of attitudes of wealth, winning the mind game, I create my life. I create the exact amount of my financial success. I play the money game to win. My intention is to create wealth in abundance. I admire and model rich and successful people. This is one of the reasons why I wanted Doctah B to come on anyway, because he was like, we have to start practicing joy. He's going to talk about like the actual speed that we send our energy into the universe when we start celebrating other people's successes. I believe money is important. Money is freedom, and money makes life more enjoyable. I get rich doing what I love. I deserve to be rich because I add value to other people's lives. I am a generous giver and an excellent receiver. I am truly grateful for all the money I have now. Lucrative opportunities always come my way, and my capacity to earn, hold, and grow money expands day by day. Woo! What y'all think about that right there? Y'all like that? Or I mean, who can get down with that for a quick second? What's that sound like for you, Dre or Mr. Jones?
Love it. I have to refresh real quick because my computer's being all quirky, but I'm going to come right back.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Doctah B Sirius, what's up?
I'm right here live in the living
up?
color. How you doing, my brother? Once again, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I cut this bad boy in world record time. I cut this in like, I mean, it was quick. Like after the last message I sent you, I hadn't even cut pineapple, so I was like, well, if I made a video, I got to be able to go ahead and
yes.
enzymes myself. So yes, you are coming in live and direct. I got my water with my shungite in it. We're gonna get some of these parasites up in here. Now, for some of you all, I'm gonna let Doctah B introduce himself, but I'm gonna just do a little preamble about how we even got started, right? So me and Doctah B kept missing each other like ships in the night in Atlanta. He'll be somewhere, then he'll leave, and I'll come and be like, man, you got to meet Doctah B. And then I'll go somewhere, and then, I mean, we just kept sliding by each other. And I was like, tired of this. Let me get this man's phone number, see if he is a myth or if he's the real guy. And we got on the phone, and we talked for like 2 hours the first time we chopped it up. And he is real like a pair of back pockets full of money on the block. You know what I'm saying? That's real. Not no illegal substance, but a pocket full of money. Y'all see how I'm like already working on my subconscious mind? So earlier, and I know we brothers of the same mind, and we have we probably got some of the same spiritual parents, and we don't walk a lot of the same paths and things like that. But one thing I want to teach you all tonight is if you're the smartest person on your team, you're in trouble. Okay? So I'm not in trouble because I got Doctah B on here. And there's a lot of other people that's chilling in the chat room that are probably smarter than me in some other areas. But that's why I'm always talking about team success. Teamwork makes the dream work. To me, success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. And one of the things in the community, in the world, is there's enough wealth that everybody could have, I mean, easily $4 or $5 million. You know, and Dick Gregory always talking about it's an abomination to work. And the first time I heard him say that, I said, it's an abomination to work. He was like, yeah, that's not your birthright to be working. I was like, well, the opposite of me working for money is obviously to have money working for me. So I've done extensive self-work on myself to make sure that I can understand different energetic changes that I need. And so today I just came on Blab. I was like, everybody's always on late. Who's on early? And Doctah B was already on another program, and he was most gracious to join me because this is sequence of events for where I'm at. And I was like, let's talk about some money. We could talk about sex. We could talk about food. We could talk about all that. But I tell you what, meditate. You can't meditate on the empty stomach.
Well, you could, but you'd be distracted a little bit. But sometimes you need to have an empty stomach to meditate. Because sometimes what you eat is keeping you dedicated. So you got to educate, dedicate, and meditate.
But we don't need an empty refrigerator. See, an empty refrigerator will disrupt your meditation. See, I can fast for a day or two, but if I know I got some collard greens and navy beans and my pantry is full and all my bills are caught up and I got me a stack of money under the mattress, my meditation goes a whole lot easier.
That's exactly right, man. When you know you got what you need to take care of you, that food, clothing, and shelter, when you got that tight, then you can expand and you can do things and move to those other elevated spaces. But when you poor, broken, lonely, and angry, you're done.
Before the gun goes off too, I'm talking about like you stuck in the gates. You don't even get out in the race. You like, they left me. You be like, no, your feet are tied to the starting
you do something
blocks.
like this: shoot, ready, aim. You see, shoot, ready, aim. You got to go aim, ready, shoot. You got to have a target before you just go out there and just shoot and bam. You know what I'm saying? You don't even know what you're shooting at.
Can I give a big shout out? Can I give a big shout out to our forefather, Reverend Ike? You mind if I give a big shout out to Reverend Ike? Big time shouts for Reverend Ike. One of the things Reverend Ike talked about in aiming was the word hamartia. Hamartia is the word that means sin. So that means to miss the mark. So when the archer would miss the mark, that means they would yell out hamartia. So when we, as the brother says, shoot, ready, aim, that's hamartia. That's a sin. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not even got your mind focused on where you want to go, and you already out there doing something. And then the sinister is, which is, I want to, just because it's two black men, we ain't talking about the white man, okay? When I say the sinister, I'm not talking about the white man. I'm talking about a very low vibrational energy that love to take advantage of people who not ready and not aiming, right? So you give yourself to the sinister when you don't get ready, when you don't aim, when you don't listen to a brother like Doctah B, when you don't tune into Coach K's Blab or YouTube channel, or if you don't go over to elevationtime.com, because I want to let y'all know early right now, www, can somebody put that in the chat room, www, elevation time, because it's past time. You know, he could have named it past due for elevation, but I get the point for elevation time. So Doctah B Sirius, will you please, I'm gonna munch on some pineapple for a second, introduce yourself, you know, give them, you know, like a brief background of maybe even one of your stories of how you got peeled to the white meat in your journey, because a lot of people think that, well, he got where he's at because he's a doctor and so and so and so and so, so he ain't never had no problems. So if you want to let them know that you a real live person that had to go through a story, can you please share that with my audience real quick?
My journey started out in music. Ever since I was a little child, I was a percussionist. And I became a composer, a writer, recording engineer, mastering engineer, and record producer. Became very successful on the West Coast of America. My company helped to bring hip hop to the West Coast. I worked with a lot of big records. You know, I had a lot of platinum, gold records and awards, Grammy nominated 4 times. And I was living a life that wasn't my life, because I started out doing jazz and cosmic music and world music, But what started paying the bills was the hip hop. Now, that wasn't a problem until the people behind the hip hop began to show up. This was when, well, actually, it was rap. Then all of a sudden, hip hop popped up and it became something different. And there were people that were controlling and pulling the strings that did not look like any hip hop folks, rap folks at all. And they basically had their foot on our testicles, feet, foreheads, and everything else. And I began to realize that this is not what my joy was. My joy, I had gotten out of doing just music and had gotten into business. And because I had the power to go into the hood, they basically would pay me lots of money to go to the hood to bring the sleeps, the sleeps. I like that, to bring the sleeps to slaughter. You see? And I didn't know it until I was in a meeting one day and I was being told what I was going to do or else. You know, these people were with the liquor companies and the prison industrial complex. And I realized that this was much deeper than what I thought. And I began to be involved with products that I didn't like putting my name on, but I liked those checks. I had the money coming in, and that money can change your whole mindset around the reasons you do things. But I began to get sick because my spirit was sick and I was eating everything. I mean, whatever they brought in, I mean, you know, they deliver food. Anything you need will be brought to the studio. Just stay in there. And I began to get sick, and I got really sick. I couldn't breathe at night. I couldn't even feel my hands. My hands and feet would go numb for periods of time. And I couldn't breathe. I couldn't go up a flight of steps. And basically, I went to a doctor who sent me to another doctor who sent me to another doctor. I didn't know they was all homies, and they was all specialists, and they was all on the same payroll, and they was wearing me out because I had good insurance, real good, GOOT, good insurance. Good insurance. Good. And basically, I was given a very short time to live because my body was fighting itself. My immune system, every organ in my body was basically going through what you call a trinity. A trinity is when three parts of you are moving away from each other. A triune is when three things are moving together, becoming one. I had created my mental, physical, and spiritual division. I was divided from myself. I was unhappy. You see, I liked the money, but, you know, after I bought everything you could buy, I mean, what else did I want to buy? I had everything that I could dream of, you see, but I was not joyful. And this was making me sick. So when I was told this, I made a choice. And I was at the high point in my life. Okay. I chose to leave. And I walked away from everything. And you know how we did, you know, a lot of us didn't know anything about savings. We didn't know nothing about stocks and bonds and gold gold bullion and silver. So basically I lived off savings and I searched for healing. And I kept searching and searching, and the words natural health kept popping up. Holism, you see, herbs for the healing of the nations, you know, veganism, vegetarianism. You know, all of these things that were words I've heard before, but I never looked into deeply. And finally, I began to study natural health. And I went in deep. And I took every dollar I had and spent it on buying books, going to seminars, flying here, doing workshops, and I was meeting people from all walks of life, from every continent, medicine people, curanderos, you know, healers, people who did what you might call magic. You know, faith healers. I was going to everybody to see what worked. Because my thing was I was 30-something years old and I wasn't ready to die. Now, some of those foods I was eating, it would seem as if I was committing, you know, what you call nutritional suicide, because I was. And some of the activities that we did were basically killing us, but we felt good. But I decided that I needed to live on my own energy and get a true focus on the planet. And within a year, all of my incurable diseases, which was a long list of, you know, I can't even tell you what they were. The list was so long. In fact, I think they were making most of them up based on the medicine they wanted to sell me. And I was like, you said I'm going to die anyway. What are you giving me medicine for? Well, you want to make you comfortable. Comfortable, that's the problem. I've been living in a comfort zone. I need to get out of my comfort zone. You see what I'm saying? That $10,000, you know, living room set I got means nothing right now. You see what I'm saying? That as my homeboy used to say, that Mercedes Benz don't mean nothing right now. You see? So I began to study with people who actually knew how the body works, how to heal the body, and study natural medicine. And after a while, I decided to start making my own formulations. And I had studied melanin really in exclusively, intensively for a long time. And I began to realize that melanin, the hormones, which are chemical messengers, the foods that we were eating, the frequencies that we were picking up in the environment was making us sick. And in the music business, I understood frequencies better than almost anybody. Some of the records I did, they blew up overnight. Why? Because I knew something about rhythm, because I was trained by African drummers, and these drummers would teach you the rhythms that create joy, pain. You could even stop a person's heart with certain rhythms or bring up their blood pressure. You know, you could do anything with sound and rhythm. And these were the people ever since a little child I studied with. So I understood the power of using weapon to heal, or weapon or using music as a weapon. Using music, using music to heal, or using music as a weapon. So I understood the vibrations of plants and began to look at the frequencies of plants. All things that are living have a certain energy signature. They all have a certain rhythm. They have a sound. They have a color, which is a sound vibration that is heard and seen through the ear or the eye. You see, the tongue is an ear that hears through certain vibrations. The eye is a tongue that tastes vision through certain frequencies. And it brought me back to studying an artist by the name of Sun Ra. And Sun Ra, his whole thing was about the orchestra, an arc of energy creating the vibration of life. This was powerful, these lessons I was learning from all these metaphysical jazz artists that I was now playing with or studying with. They were on it. They knew the language of the planets. They knew the language of the cosmos. And they were creating healing vibrations. And then, you know, records themselves at that time were made out of vinyl, polyvinyl chloride, which they burned and brought down to a carbon. You put the vibration and you etched it into carbon-based plastic. Check it out. And you used a needle made of diamond or sapphire with a copper coil wrapped around it, picked up by magnets. This created a magnetic vibration that was picked up by the microphones, and then it was picked up by speakers. So what was happening was the music that we listened to that was recorded on vinyl records was healing people because it was a whole vibration. Then we went to digital. Digital takes little short pictures and constructs it so it sounds good, but it doesn't feel the same. Then we went from CDs to MP3s. MP3s are actually making people sick listening to MP3s because they had to compress all the sound into a very small place. But for convenience sake, so that you could download it and you could email it and it doesn't take up a lot of space on your hard drive, we went for it. Even though we knew if we listened to a live band, it don't sound like MP3. You see, this is why, you know, people now starting to go out and play live again and go to live concerts because that's healing energy you're getting from those live instruments, which are ionizing the air with negative ions. See, and it could be any music that does this. It just creates this vibration that you become part of the experience. Well, the same thing happened at the same time in the food industry. They began to make food so cheaply that they put a lot of sugar in it. They put a lot of salt in it and a lot of fat in it so that they could condense it down and leave it on the shelf for very long times, send it 5,000 miles away and have it not go bad. They begin to fast food the industry of food. You see? And, you know, then they brought soy in. Soy was something that only people in Asia ate, and the soy that they ate was a genetically whole soy. Soybeans became big in America. And do you know why? Because of the car industry. They found out that they could make plastic. They went to George Washington Carver, and George Washington Carver had figured out how to make plastic out of soy. He did this for Henry Ford. Henry Ford contracted him. You see, Henry Ford also came up with a process of producing anything based on plants. Like plants have a whole way that they have an assembly line. Today, you call the industrial plant based on George Washington Carver using the plant as a way to make things. The whole industry of cars was based on a plant based on George Washington Carver. And the interiors were made out of plastic suddenly. Now they noticed that the cows, because the car factories started growing, the car places had acres and acres and acres of land. They dug up the grass and planted soy. And they noticed that the cows that ate the soy grew really big and really fast. So they said, wait a minute, there's something about giving this soy to these cows that's making them grow in 1/3 the time. It's making them really fat. So they said, wow, we could give this soy, genetically altered soy, which is not the original soy. This soy was made for plastic, not made to be eaten by people. But it made the cows become really big. And the more weight you have, the more money you could make. You see? So basically, they changed the whole industry of the world. The sound industry changed, music industry, and the way we eat. Music is food for your soul. And the food we eat is vibration for your body. When they interrupted the way we ate food and the way we listened to music, everything changed. At that point, the people who needed to control us so that we could be like chattel, to be like cattle, to become domesticated, took over. They even fooled people and got people to think that soybean oil was the best oil. Even now, they tell you about this canola oil. You think canola oil is a good thing. It's in all the health food stores. Canola is rapeseed oil. It's called rapeseed because when they planted it, it raped everything around it and the ground died afterwards. You could only grow like one season. They use that for the hydraulics of trucks because the heat can't break it down. If the heat can't break it down, your body can't break it down. We were using coconut oil, olive oil, natural vegetable oils. We switched over to using soy oil. This now the oil in your body doesn't break down and it rapes the energy of your body. The music you're listening to is raping the energy of your mind, and the food you're eating is raping your body. You have been raped.
So let me jump in here. Now everyone can see that the brother is not only passionate but knowledgeable, and he knows his history about his particular path. But tonight I want to get into wealth minded, because in the community, in the world, people, as we spoke about on the prior show, they say out of their mouths that I want wealth, I want to attract more abundance in my life, but they have this cross current of a subconscious behavior that's saying, nah, I'm good because my ancestors, I come from slavery, or everybody who has money is in the Illuminati. Because earlier you said we need to start celebrating wealthy people and people who are successful. But on YouTube, it says that my brother Jay-Z and Beyonce, this power couple who have a lovely child, who are creating generational wealth, it says, well, they're in the Illuminati. So how can I? So now the subconscious mind is saying, no, don't celebrate wealth. But then the little small brain, the conscious mind, is lying and saying, I want wealth, I want wealth. How do we get that way? One, and what must we do to start changing that vibration around with, as you said, the subconscious gatekeepers? Why is the gatekeeper not on my side? I thought I was in charge, Dr. B. I just want to say, I want money, and then my subconscious is like, no, what's up with me and the gatekeepers? How do we start communicating?
Well, the fourth thing I was going to mention that shifted between the 60s, 70s, and 80s is wealth.
Mm-hmm.
You see, this is not a one-piece thing. These all go together. They begin to show you people on television living a certain way that was not even real. It wasn't based on reality. They began to put frequencies out there through sound bites, through commercials, that caused your brain to become fragmented, your mind to become off balance. You see, wealth to your subconscious is the same word as health. The subconscious does not know what that H is. Wealth and health are the same thing. Your subconscious only sees symbols. A wealthy person, a truly wealthy person, is healthy. Once you begin to eat food of the poor, broke, lonely, and broken, you begin to think broken. You're broke. And then everybody you're hanging out with is talking about how broke we are. How broke we are. Broke, broke, broke. So the subconscious says we're broke. We don't have anything. We can't get anything because of my color, because of my family, because of my particular circumstances. Your past.
My past. Don't forget you come from slaves. So don't forget you come from slaves. So you're supposed to eat chitlins and pig's feet forever and ever and ever because the white man did this tragedy to you and you lost all these people in the Atlantic slave trade. So you have a right to be dead ass.
See,
broke.
and that goes for all people. Everybody now is a slave almost. 99% of the people are slaves. You know, it's just not the people that you hear about through the transatlantic slave situation. Everybody has been sold into slavery. You see, fashion, which is basically fascism. Look at the roots of the word fashion is fascism. You create an emergency and make everybody give up their rights so that the military can take over. So now there's a new, I remember years ago, everybody was wearing pink. The guys was wearing pink. It was pink. Why is everybody wearing pink? Because somebody said you got to buy pink and it was expensive. Prices went up and you were buying other people's stuff. You had stopped wearing your own fashion, your own clothing. See, this is another broke mentality because you're broken. They were taking people who were basically sovereign, free thinking people and taking away their authority. You have to do it gradually. Through cartoons, they did it. K-A is spirit. Tunes. Through spirit songs. Through vibrations. You see, only one person got a big bag of money. Everybody else is broke. You see, and we got to this place where we began to think that being broke was a badge of honor. Because a lot of us feel that people with money are evil. They showed it to you on television. Having money is evil. You might say you desire it, but actually subconsciously you say, I don't want to have that because what about my friends? They won't like me. So you will stay in a broke consciousness, a poor consciousness. And a lot of folks feel they just don't have it because they just don't have it, but they don't know the steps to get it. So first you have to begin to reprogram your head and get ideas out of your head that rich people are evil. There's a lot of rich people that are funding a lot of great programs right now. There's a bunch of them. All rich people are not, disagreeable, bad, evil people. Do you see what I'm saying? And let me tell you something else. I don't have a problem with secret societies. People say, well, Dr. B, what do you think about this? Look, if you don't get you a secret society together, shut your mouth, get a group of people together, create a secret, sacred society, have some meetings. You need somebody to know how to build. You need somebody that can make shoes. You need somebody that can find the leather to make the shoes. You need somebody that know how to grow stuff. You need somebody that know how to find water, how to find oil. You need somebody that knows about stock market and knows about, trading money. You need somebody that understands the world economic position. You need a lawyer. You need a lawyer, which is a liar. You need somebody that's going to be truthful. You need the women. You need the men. You need everybody to come together in the middle of the room in a sacred, secret society and shut the door. You need security. You need folks on post. What? You ain't got a card, you ain't coming in.
Are you serious?
Do you see what I'm saying? And you got to learn how to shut your mouth. Now,
are you serious?
You create a syndicate.
Are you serious?
I don't know nothing about what these, oh boy, Dr. B, the Masons are running the world. They're not running my world, they're running your world because you said that. You agreed to that, so it's true. What about the Illuminati? Look, I don't know nothing about the Illuminati. I don't spend time looking at the Illuminati. I don't spend time looking at the Kardashians and these other folks and what they got. I know nothing about it. For me personally, I don't even know nothing about sports. Do I own the team? Why am I out there getting all pumped up, drinking beers, getting my blood pressure up? Oh, my team lost. Do you own a piece of that team? Do you know what this does to your mind? You don't own a bit of it. That's cognitive dissonance right there. But it's entertainment. No, it's entertainment. You need to study the roots of sports. Get ISIS Papers by Francis Cress Welsing so you can understand the roots of the games, where they come from. This is Roman. But when you're in Rome, you do like the Romans. Well, there's only like 5 wealthy people in all of Rome. Everybody else was broke. You see? So we have to get to this point where we understand what wealth is. Wealth is eating wealthy, talking wealthy, hanging out with people who are either wealthy or on the road to wealth. You can't hang out with people who are poor, broke, lonely, mad, angry, and struggling. This word, let's keep the struggle, and the struggle continues. I'm not struggling. Why am I struggling? This is not a struggle. Nature follows the path of least resistance. I'm going to say it again. Nature follows the path of least resistance. In other words, rain does not try to go up. You see, naturally, water goes downhill. When you begin to live within nature and become more natural, you will follow the natural flow. Birds do not fly against the current of the wind unless it is an emergency. Now, this brings up an important point. When we were in emergency, and believe me, all cultures have been in emergency. All cultures have been through a lot of stuff. Okay? Some of them have learned how to take their what they've gone through, their challenges, and turn that into wealth. Some of us are still stuck in the emergency in our mind. Emergency means to emerge, to rise, to elevate. If you had to eat chitlins and live low on the hog and spice this stuff up and put thyme and cloves and stuff on it so it wouldn't rot, and you ate the worst food during an emergency, that was okay. If you begin to use road flares and all this kind of stuff that you used only in emergencies, you're using it every day, you do not elevate. You cannot. We are using tactics, not we, some of us, are using tactics that we use as survival skills when we were in emergency mode. When you continue to stay mentally, spiritually, consciously in emergency mode, you can't ever rise until you understand, overstand, understand, and withstand that emergency means to rise. If your food is domesticated and you eat it, if you make a house out of junk, old moldy wood and broken bricks, is your house going to be strong? So if you eat trash, you're going to feel like trash, and you don't feel rich. You don't feel wealthy. Wealth has a lot to do with what you eat, who you hang out with, who you have friended. If you can't, look, take 5 people you know. If you can take 5 people who you know and look at their net worth and their worth of $500,000, you got some friends that maybe you can hang out with. If you take their 5 best friends and their net worth is not $500,000, you're done. You're like a pigeon with a flying rat waiting for a handout. You see what I'm saying? You've got to start the reparations in yourself. You got to repair yourself first. You can't expect these folks just to give you something, because now you're your own slave. I don't care what color you are. It has nothing to do with it. It's the mindset. And the more we say that the middle class, there's no more middle class, there's no more middle class, as soon as you keep saying, there is none then. There is a middle class. You might not know them. There is an upper class, a middle class, a hyper class. There's all kind of classes. But you got to get out of the classification game. So once you begin to say, I am wealthy, my friends are wealthy or on the road to wealth. When you begin to take your money and put your money, this is one day I had to do this because I had gone all the way broke. All my money was gone, everything. I didn't have nothing. But I did have like $5 and some change. I put it on the bed. And I said, let me tell you something, money. I want you to do something. Move, money, move. Money didn't move. I said, money, blow off in the wind. Money didn't blow off in the wind. I said, I thought you was powerful. Money couldn't do nothing. I said, all right, since you can't do nothing without me, then I'm in control. I need you to take your $5 and go get me $25. Get up. And I put that money in my pocket and I went out and I held my head up, chin level, so that the Kundalini can flow up and down your spine. My eyes focused direct. I am going to go and create $25 from my 5. I came back in 2 days. I had $50. People was giving me money. Man, how you get that vibe, man? How you act like that? They was paying me for the way I was acting. I was like, wow, I can get paid? Next thing you know, I'm up doing seminars and workshops on how to act and live like money. Because it's a mindset. But if your mind is set like a leg that's broken, that's set wrong, it's never going to be straight. You got a limp. If your mind is set in the caste system that has been put on your mind is reducing you, suppressing you, and limiting you, you got to break out of it. You got to break out of the caste. How can you do it? You start with what you have. The first rule of money, in order to have a lot of money, in order to gain a lot of money, you must have some money. I need you to hear me.
That's hustle commandment number 9. I just want to add, hustle commandment 9 is it takes dough to make bread. Now, don't think that me and Doctah B is so deep that we can't give you some street, because we bring it from high level down to eye level. So he don't need translating, but I'm just going to say it my way. It takes, you ain't never went in the oven and got some bread and you didn't put some dough in there first. Can I get a ashe, amen, or hallelujah, or whatever? Is that right, Doctah B?
No, my
Take
cousin,
dough to make bread.
He was a worker of the streets. He was a pimp. He was very good. He was one of the biggest pimps in the state that I'm from. And I went to him one day. I said, man, you know, he had mansions. He had invested in Wall Street. He had a lot of stuff. I said, man, how did you do this? He said, I started off with one woman. I said, huh? He said, you have to start off with one thing. To make $1 million, you got to start off with one. To make $1, you got to start off with a penny. Now check it out. If somebody said to you, I'm going to give you, you have a choice to take $1 million right now, cash, or I'm going to give you 1 penny, and I am going to increase that penny, the interest of that penny, every day. I'm going to double the interest of that penny every day. Which would you take? Most folks say, I'm taking that $1 million, man. Well, first of all, $1 million is only 500,000 unless you know how to invest it. It's gone quick. Most folks that hit the lottery in 2 years, they're broker than they were before they hit the lottery. There's a mindset issue here. If you realize that that penny is going to grow, like the hyacinth flower. Let me tell you about the hyacinth. It's a water.
How do you spell that?
It's not my job.
How do you spell hyacinth?
I am the spell. You need to learn how to read the spell too. I think it's HY something. Hyacinth. It's a flower.
I found it.
The hyacinth pops up on March 21st on the lake, on the pond rather. The second day, March 22nd, there's 2 hyacinths on the pond. On the third day, there's 4 hyacinths. The next day, there's 8 hyacinths. Every day, the interest is compounding. What is the interest? The hyacinth is interested in expanding and elevating. It is enthusiastic. Check this out. Here's a great question. One day, not long from when the hyacinths began to proliferate on the lake, half the lake is covered with hyacinths. The next day, how much of the lake is covered with hyacinths? All of the lake. Because of compounding interest.
Woo.
The one who took the penny and let the penny compound becomes rich further than your mind can imagine. The one who took the million, unless they understand this compounding interest, they will end up broke. I'm not saying don't take the million. I'm saying unless you understand how to make your money work for you, work your money maker. Your money will make money for you. First, you got to have some though. You can't come to me without no money talking about you want to make some money because you don't have the base ingredients to start it from. Now, most folks lie. Most folks liars.
Are you sure?
Ever since that first Christmas, your parents lied to you, you become a liar because you're like your parents. You love them, so you love the way they were, and you lie to your children too. Lie means you're a flat liner, you're not elevated, moving up and down. You're lying flat. Your words, your energy is doing nothing. Now check this out. People come to me and they say, Dr. B, I want to be part of your wealth program. How can I get rich? I said, well, I think I can help you. First of all, I have been a millionaire twice, and I'm on the way now to becoming one again and then a billionaire right after that. I'm working on it, but I'm looking and creating the family and the syndicate, the group to do this with. Because I did this by myself, and I ended up by myself and crazy and lost and turned out. And then my accountant, he counted all my money. My lawyer, he did all the lying. He lied to me and everybody else. So you know what happens. You know, you put all your wealth in somebody else's hands and they get richer and you wonder what's going on. You find out that the record company you work for, they're giving you 0.5% and they're getting the rest of the money and you made the record. I didn't realize this, you see, but check this out. People come to me and they sit on my couch in my office and they mention how they would like to be wealthy. I said, well, how much money do you have? They said, well, I don't have any money. I said, well, you got to get out. They said, what do you mean? You said you don't have no money. My services start at $200 an hour. If you don't have any money, you got to get out now because somebody out there is waiting to come in here. No, what I mean, no, you said you don't have no money. No, I got enough to pay you, but you said you don't have any money. That's a lie. And you're telling your subconscious you don't have anything. If you've got 200, you got more than that because you got here on the bus or you took a train or you drove, you got gas. You're going to eat today, right? Well, you know what I mean. No, I don't know what you mean. And does your subconscious know? Does the universe know what you mean when you say you don't have any money? What you should say is, I would like to become more wealthy. If you got $5, you got more money than some people make in a whole month. And they eat beans and rice and they're doing well. You're tripping with this. You watch too much television. And you want something for nothing and you want it quick. You don't want to wait. I remember I went to St. Louis and everybody in St. Louis wanted to make a CD. This is when my group DJ Quick was really big. We went down there and everybody wanted to make a CD. I said, well, let me hear you rap. Well, I ain't really, I don't know how to rap yet. I'm learning how to rap. You don't rap? Well, you want to make a hip hop CD? Well, when you get me in the studio, you know what I'm saying? You can put all that stuff on my voice. No, I can't. I'm not putting nothing on your voice. I wasn't using no auto-tune. You got to be in tune. Because when the auto-tune break and the show, the tape snaps, electricity goes out, you need to have the show go on. That's the type of people I'm working with, people who are into excellence. But the first thing is you have to know what you do have. So before you say you don't have something, stop, shut your mouth, think 5 times. There's another way to say this. I would like to attract or create wealth. My next question is how much? Well, you know what I'm saying? It's like, see, you can't speak clearly. Well, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, a whole lot of money. Like, well, okay, you can't say how much money. What would you like to see in the world? What would you like to create? What would you like to have? Well, you know, like a big house. A big house. That's what you want? Your house ain't worth nothing. You don't even own the thing. Why you got to pay taxes? You don't own no house. I want some property. You only own 3 inches, maybe 6 inches of the soil in some states. You do not own the land. You let them find gold or diamonds or some precious metal on your property. They will dig up 6 inches of the soil, take your little sod, in your house and put it on a truck, and through eminent domain, they taking it. You're going to be mad till I'm going to court. You can't go to court because you don't own the earth. You got to own land. Excuse me. Well, you know, Doctah B, the only place you can buy land is in the country. You can get it cheap. It's land. It's nothing but deer out there and armadillos. You can build a fortress. I was talking to this brother on the radio. He was talking about reparations. He was the reparations master. He was the man that came up with the word reparations. Oh boy, he was on the radio with me, and we were doing a show, and I was the health, guest, and he was just, talking about reparations. So I asked him. I said, "Well, sir, I like what you're saying. It sounds all good, but what would you like?" He said, "Well, what do you mean, brother?" So you're talking about reparations for what had happened, and okay, what would you like? Well, no, that's where we got a little issue, because some people think we should get college fund for free. Some people say we should get taxes. Some people say we shouldn't have to buy Cadillacs. We should get Cadillacs every year. I was listening to him. I didn't hear the words that rung, they didn't vibrate with my ear. Land. You want to get wealthy? Get some land. Get that land nobody wants. Don't just buy property. That's the little 6 inches or so. Land. Gold. Silver. Invest in things that are going to grow. That means you need to have a mastermind group. See, Coach Khayr dropped it down. I didn't even have to talk today because he said the whole thing in the first few minutes. He said that you needed to have people that knew more than you around you. This is called your mastermind group. Now, I'm going to show you a technique right now that some of you have read about in certain books, but I'm not going to tell you which ones. I'm just going to give you the technique.
Come on,
once a week, you need to have a committee meeting.
Pause. So today, you all are learning a lot of things. And so I'm going to help y'all with y'all communication skills. So we often don't like people cutting us off, but on a CD, which he's very familiar with, the music, I just paused him. I didn't interrupt. I want him to pause right there. And when I come back and say unpause, he got to pick it up from right there. Everybody, now I'm going to show you how me and this joke are of the same mind. Watch this right here.
Watch this. He's not going to do it. I know he's not going to do it.
Shit. He just got me confused. He must got me confused. Where is, wait.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Uh-oh. Shit. Listen here. Doctah B, I'm doing so good and working on my profanity, but I'm going to just slip here just for a quick second. So if the children in the room, y'all just, just ease on. But listen, don't bullshit when somebody give you some good advice. You know what I'm saying? And they give you some wisdom and you ain't even paying him. So you can start your mastermind group, because somebody right now, I can hear you in your head saying, oh, well, I ain't got nobody around me that I can talk to. So what you do is go get you some frames like this, or a frame like this. This is a project I'm working on right now. Now, how did he know that I got this in my house within 10 feet? Now, he ain't never been to my house. How he know I got this in here? And I'm going to put my mastermind team in here first. So I'm going to have Madam C.J. Walker. I'm going to have Steve Jobs. I'm going to have Jay-Z. I'm going to put Dame Dash in here too, because Dame Dash discovered Jay-Z. I'm I'm gonna put Oprah in this joker, and I'm gonna put Mansa Musa in here, right? And then I'm gonna look at them, and what it say family, and I'm gonna look at them every day because I'm gonna talk to them once a day. I'm talking about when I'm going to spend some money, I'm gonna be like Oprah, Madam C.J. Walker, Napoleon Hill, Jay-Z. What do you think? And because I can create that environment in my mind immediately. And what will happen is the people that I need to be in my physical mastermind group, who I can get to and call on the phone, will start to appear in my mind, because my subconscious don't know the difference. My subconscious mind don't know that I don't have Jay-Z's phone number, but if I can see and be like, oh man, Madam C.J. Walker, like, what you looking like? She's like, I'm looking like the first black millionaire. If I was around right now, the Bonner brothers would be working for me. All of you weave wearing queens, I can't believe you women is broke out here after my example. I'd be like, okay, I'm sorry, mama. But you gotta have somebody out here who gonna talk to you like that. Don't put no thous and thils and things like that on here. Don't put no white Jesus on here, okay? Not that he ain't he was thugging it out, but I want you to put some real $500 million or better on your mastermind joint. And if you want to do something that's bigger than this, that's fine. I have two of them. One is going to be for those who I can't contact like physically on the phone. And then I got another one over here for like my physical. Doctah B, the way you keep talking, you getting a tryout. You might you might fall up over here and be on this joke. Right. She's to the side. You know what I'm saying? Because one of the things I want to add is not only do they have to be wealthy minded, but they have to be able to keep it 100 with you. They cannot play with you. They must know your abilities. My example, and I'm gonna get back to Doctah B, was I have a astrology course that I was putting together, and it was a 6-week course, and I got on 5 weeks and just wouldn't make the last week. And then one day I sat down in front of my mentors, and Dame Dash came up. Dame Dash said, "Everybody shut up, let me talk to him." I said, "What's up, Dame?" He said, "Why you won't bag up the work?" I said, "What?" He said, you sitting on the work, but won't put it on the street, complaining about you ain't got no money. He said, "What's the rules to the game?" He reminded me where I came from. When you got the work, you had to put it in motion in the street. Isn't that right, Doctah B? When your cousin, his lady, had to be out there doing whatever she had to do. She was a heaven on earth, as Paul Mooney likes to say. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe in the word whore or slut, but I do believe in heaven on earth, because, that's just a whole nother conversation. We ain't gonna go into that right there tonight. But the brother said, you have to meet up with your dream team and make sure there's some people on there that's gonna keep it 100, and there's no flugazis on there. There's no, if they scared money don't make no money. All these rules that you hear, these are metaphysical principles that really exist. And if somebody trying to swim against the current, they can't be on your wealth team. My favorite song in the world, the highest metaphysics of all time. This is from my Rosicrucian experiences, my Freemasons, my ancient Egyptian order, my order of Melchizedek, is this song right here. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream.
Merrily.
It says down the
merrily.
stream. Hold on, before I get to merrily, it says down the stream. Down, it means with the flow. And then it don't say merrily one time. He says merrily, merrily, merrily. Pause. 3 times the joy. He says merrily, merrily, merrily. So you got to break these things down. Life is but a dream. And y'all taking it so serious, but you're creating a nightmare because you're going against the current. You ain't happy. And then you think that this is your only reality. Can I get an amen, amen, amen? All right, unpause.
You may choose to have Mary Magdalene up there, because Mary Magdalene was one of the third richest family of the region and funded the whole venture. That's why they had to say she was a host. See, she had cash. She didn't have to sell her body. She sold ideas. Now, let's go back to the mastermind group. Here's what you do. Pick 5 people, living or dead.
Ooh.
And you're going to have a committee meeting. And you're going to go into your imaginal selves, into your imagination. Imagination. I am a nation of genes. I am a nation of generators. I am the genie that generates the life that I am. I am in the Batel, which is my body. And I have ideas so that the top pops off and the vapor, my soul spirit comes out and asks, what is your destination today? Not your wish is my command. That was a transliteration. You are the genie. Your genes are genies, and they are programmed based on the environment. So what you're going to do is you're going to close your eyes, and you're going to imagine that your 5 people that you've picked are with you in a committee meeting. Let's say it's a Steve Jobs. Let's say it's a Malcolm X. Let's say it's Midas, because Midas had mountains made out of gold. Henry Ford. You pick 5 beings that existed that you didn't know maybe personally, but energetically you respect and you knew they did a lot. And you close your eyes and you picture they are there. Your subconscious cannot perceive that this is not happening. The subconscious does not think. It listens to commands and reads the environment. You will create the environment by your thought process. You're going to work yourself up into a dream state called the theta state, in between worlds, and you will go into a dark place where up pop will be the 5 people who you respect. And you will tell them what your venture, what your idea is. And you will go around the table. Mr. Ford, what do you think about my idea? In your mind, if you are quiet enough and can shut out all that chatter, Mr. Ford will speak to you. If you are able to shut out that chatter, every one of your 5 committee members will speak. And the ones that don't speak don't need to say anything in the day. Don't sit there and try to make them say something. This is your ego. I need you to say something, man. Come on, man. No, you just relax and you float merrily down the stream. Life will take you exactly to where you need to go as long as you have a namana. A namana is an idea or a goal, a destination. The 5 people that you will meet with every week will help you move magnetically towards the desire that you have created. Now, some people say, Dr. B, come on, now, this don't work. I'm telling you it works. This is how I did it. You think I had anything in the beginning? I had very little. I had a drum. How did I do it? How did I build an empire? In fact, the brother mentioned the Dream Team. The LA Dream Team was the first group that I produced that blew up whole West Coast hip hop. Ladies and gentlemen, the dream team is in the house. That's actually me saying, ladies and gentlemen. I wasn't even in the group. The record blew up. It was the first West Coast record to go gold along with Egyptian Empire. Those 2 groups were the first ones that really went big. There was other groups around. But we focused on being big and doing something that had never been done. I had a mastermind group. I brought them into my mind space, the final frontier, in between my ears. And I focused on them. And I took the money that I had, and I didn't say I didn't have any money. I said, I am demanding that you grow. You do not chase money. You let money find you. By doing things every day that moves you magnetically towards the money or magnetically pulls the money towards you. by respecting money. Make sure all your money is in the proper, the head's got to be up. Look at them. Don't look and say, oh man, there's a dead man on my money. He's going to live. He lives when you walk in the store. Save little bits of money. Don't just throw pennies and stuff away. You respect money. And here's the hitch. If you are healthy, this works faster. If you're ill and you've eaten dead, rotten things in your belly, then the gas, the ammonia gas, the methane gas, distorts your journey. Because your cells are spending energy on saving your hide. If you're putting chemicals on your body, anything you put on your skin is in your blood in 17 seconds. So half these chemicals that you're buying, you haven't called that 800 number, so you don't know what it is. It actually retards your movement towards your riches. A lot of people get rich eating trash. This is true. But they don't keep it because they get sick. They get crazy. They start losing their minds. They start doing things that this person is now an idiot. They've snapped. And they die early, or they go crazy, or they lose it, or they catch diseases and they have to cut them, and now they're in stroke mode. All these things pop up. So now your health and your wealth becomes one. Now that I chose to become a vegan, I chose this because my mind is much clearer. I don't have a dead cow in my belly haunting me. Today, all I had was a salad and some pineapple. I did a show just earlier, and I thought I was going to rest. And Coach hit me up, bro, let's keep rolling. And I remember, that's Coach. Coach showed me he had a whole process of cutting a pineapple. That's how I met this man. He was on YouTube cutting a pineapple. And he had a methodology. It was metaphysics on how he cut this pineapple. And the way he touched it, and the way he cut it, and the way he did it, I said, this dude is deep. Because see, we look at the little things. A wealthy person knows how to look at little small things. And realizes that little way of doing things actually becomes big. What you do with 1 penny is what you do with 1,000,000. The way you cut a pineapple is the way you cut those checks. You see, this whole thing with integration, that messed everybody up. Everybody had money. You had all kind of communities that had private money. Everybody joined in. You wanted to leave your homies and go spend money down the street. You want to go over there and buy those shoes with somebody else's name on them that cost $500. We begin to lose our mind because we begin to do things that were outside of the realm that we knew by pulling each other together. Harambe, to pull together. So now that we're in this position, we can't fix what happens. So we're not going to get all into that. Right now, what is happening is that there is a gateway that is opened in the universe. We are in the photon band. Type that up. The photon band. Photon. The photon belt or the photon band. We go through this band of energy every 23 to 26,000 years. Because see, our solar system moves on what they call a great year. The true calendar is 20, and it moves in a spiral. When we are close to the center of the galaxy, which the Mayans call Hanapku, we can levitate stones, 10,000 pound stones. We can do anything with our mind. When we are at the furthest point from the center of the galaxy, remember I said we move in a cycle. It's like an obelisk. When we are far away from the center of the galaxy, they call it darkness or the fall of man, because we're falling away from the great radio station, which is the center of all things. Now, let me give you an idea of where the center is. For you people who are into metaphysics, or you folks like to hear some deep stuff, the moon spirals around the sun. I mean, the moon spirals around the earth, Gaia. The sun, the earth, spirals around the sun. The sun spirals around Sirius. Sirius spirals around Vega. Vega spirals around Lyra, the word, the sound, the frequency, the leader and the conductor of the orchestra, the orchestra. It's a musical event. This is called spirituality. Spirituality is spirituality. You got your crystals and you got your singing bowl and your incense, you burning sage, and you know how to say Om and do a little yoga and use a raw foodist and hold your tongue up to touch your pineal. That's all really nice. And when you look up nice in the etymology of the word nice, you will realize that means that you're stupid and foolish, unless you can manifest something from all this. See, when you become a manifester, you realize that the key to everything is to being spiritual, to spiral. That means you cannot stay in the place that you are. You constantly move and elevate and expand, right? Your space. So those folks that you calling your enemies, you need to go meet them. I did this. They told me that these people don't like you, man. They want to kill you. I went to go meet them. I knocked on the door. Hey, how you doing, man? I heard you want to kill me. Oh, man, Dr. B, how you doing, man? What you doing here? I heard you wanted to kill me. Kill you? We've been looking for you, man. Look, we got a deal for you. We got this group, man. We want you to do one song. We're going to give you $80,000 cash. Hand me the money. I heard y'all didn't like me. Well, who told you that? A lot of times your enemy is in you. To become wealthy, you're going to need to go meet your enemies. If they have a weapon, you're going to need to use the weapon that they give you on them. What is the weapon? Love, peace, harmony, understanding, overstanding, understanding, withstanding. But you're also going to need to be a martial artist.
Holler.
And you're going to need to strike at the right moment if you must and take them out. But if you find they are not your enemy and that's a figment of your imagination, or you're listening to your friends, these are not your friends. Most you know, like, so, oh boy, he likes me. Does he? Has he given you some money to do a project? Y'all building a project together? I've been in Atlanta now for 3 years, and every time I do a lecture, I said, look, I want to start a syndicate, a gang, a secret society. They said, huh? What you talking about, Doctor? You one of them Illuminatis?
Illuminati.
I said, Illuminati has nat in it. They're very small. They bug you, but they don't do too much. I got to agree to this. What I would like to do is start a gang. And we're going to do drive-bys. I lived in LA for a long time. You know, I'm used to the drive-bys. What we're going to do is get seeds. We're going to get bags and bags of seeds, pounds and pounds, and put them in your trunk. And we're going to find vacant lots. And we're going to ride by those lots at night, pulling up real slow with the headlights off, and throw seeds into the vacant lots. And it's going to grow food. And we can come back and harvest that food and set up markets to sell that food. Things like amaranth, things like quinoa, things that will just proliferate and grow. Now people buy amaranth all day long to make dishes like callaloo, and it's an herb that can heal many people. This is what they did in South and Central America, in the Caribbean. They cut down and burned all the callaloo, all of the amaranth grain. That's how the Spanish were able to take power, because they realized that food was making people superhuman. You want to get deep? Eat food that creates the superconductivity in you. Food that creates a superconductivity energy. See, a superconductor can give away all of its energy and never lose any. The superconductor is like the golden goose. It lays eggs all day, forever. To get rich, you're going to create a golden goose. And you're not even going to give your children this golden goose. Don't do this thing, well, you know, when I die, I'm going to give it to the kids. See, when I die, I want them to have something. No! What you do is you create a golden goose. This is some sort of investment that you have, your legacy. And you let it lay eggs, and you give away the eggs, which are the interest. Because the golden goose will always lay eggs. If you give it to your family, they're going to divide it up, and it's going to be gone. And now they're broke. One of your brothers he's still on crack after 30 years, you know what I'm saying? This one over here, he invested in, a gold mine under the ocean that we can't get to. You know, everybody got these harebrained ideas. So you got to create a golden goose. It's easy to do. It's something that you make once that keeps on selling forever. It could be music, it could be poetry, it could be something that's worth something that people will buy. I'm not telling you what it should be. And you give away only the overflow. I'm going to relate this to one other thing. A lot of you are giving away your life force to other people. You feel indebted to them. They're family, they're my friends, I got to go. So you end up doing things and being involved with things that you don't like. Rich people, the ones I have met, they never do things they don't like.
Which means they never compromise. See, that's hold on, pause. Broke people compromise their integrity.
They break. Broke people break their integrity.
Right. But this is where we go back to the story. This go back to the astrology. When you go back to the 10th house, which is Capricorn, what is the 10th house in astrology? The 10th house is the house of fame and success, and it's the last earth sign, and it's the entire story of Cinderella. Cinderella did not compromise her virtue, and in the end, she ended up with everything because she wouldn't go to the prince. She knew the prince was supposed to come to her. She knew that she was surrounded by a bunch of liars. Ladies, you know good and well you go to the damn party. Dr. B, when the last time you seen a woman go somewhere and come home with one shoe and be like, I don't even know if that's my shoe or not. You left with two, you know, and you came back with two. That means that whole story about Cinderella is about she was surrounded by liars, but the virtue and the character of the 10th house is at the highest point in the zodiac. The Aries is at 9, Cancer is the foundation, which is the mother, and Libra, which is relationships, is the 7th house. But at the highest point is Cinderella. She would not compromise her virtue. And then the king got tired of all the liars coming in, trying to put their big ass, fat ass feet in this little ass size 7 shoe. And then he was like, enough. I'm going out there to get what's rightfully mine. And then he went to Cinderella and brought her to the wealth. He was the wealth. He was representing the wealth when he went to find her. And he put his resources, he had some money to go find her, who would not compromise and who would not lie and who would not default on her integrity. And so a lot of you will have got caught in lying and doing things that were not in integrity. And then what happens? The wealth flees from you. That's why me and Reverend Ike, we gave him a shot at the beginning, but his phrase is, money is like a sophisticated woman. If you don't know how to talk to her, she will leave you. So many of y'all talking bad about money. So many of y'all letting your subconscious mind from whatever company you used to keep. That's why you can't come around me. Doctah B Sirius, the other day I had a show talking about the difference, the 3 types of men. There's the court gesture, there's the prince, and there's the king. See, I don't let court gestures and princes hang around me. I only have other bosses and other kings around me, period. That's just how I do. And so the sister yesterday said, Kaya, you just a little too kingly for me. I said, word, it's okay. It's okay. That's not going to make me jump down to Prince or court gesture so I can sit around and do some tricks for somebody. You see what I'm saying? When you want a king and he stays in his lane, that's only going to pull out what's supposed to compliment me. See, I don't devalue or I don't compromise on my integrity. And somebody got to be the example, whether it's me wearing a funny looking Yoda shirt, because we down with the Jedis, you see what I'm saying? Or it's Doctah B over there, he got his headphones on, he flying one of them things in Star Wars. You know, he look at the colors he got on. He looked just like the dude in Star Wars. And then they finally got a brother who's gonna be the star on Christmas Day. God damn up bear. Go ahead. So make sure that you do not compromise on your integrity. Do things you love. Do things that you love, especially when that genie comes up or when you go in that dark place and you talking to them 5 people. Don't hold yourself out. Don't hold yourself out. Don't slut yourself out and be like, I just want to get me a job. People come to me, I'm just like Doctah B. You can't talk to me for less than $100 an hour. If you can tell me in less than an hour, then there ain't nothing wrong with you. But when you come and just say, I want to get a job, I say, there's something wrong with you. Where is the divine in you? Where is the birthright in you that says, I want to be wealthy, that I work because I want to, not because I have to? Does that make sense? All right, let me pass the mic back over to Doctah B. Bam, we on some damn outcasts up in this mama jamma tonight. Dre and the big boy.
Since my brother moved to the 10th house.
Uh-oh.
We're going to talk about the 10.
What?
Who said that we must give 10% to the priest? Who said that? Melchizedek. Melchizedek is not a person, it's a scientific formula. Because they said if you want to keep getting prayers, we got to take care of these people that's bringing the prayers in. That was their concept.
Amen.
Mel means darkness. M-E-L means dark. Like melanin, melancholy, collie. All those words with M-E-L in it has to do with darkenment. Chi, Mel, Chi is C-H-I. Energy, life force, Chi. Z has to do with resistance in electronics. The resistance, the force that you create by resisting certain things and moving in the flow of other things. Dec, D-E-C, is also what you call T-E-K or T-I-K, which is penis. Dec, which comes from tech, which comes from tekin, which comes from the teak tree, which looks like a very tall penis. All the wood is very strong, and this is what was used to reconstruct the God-man when his penis had been thrown into the ocean and the catfish ate it. So his woman reconstructed him, but she couldn't find his penis. And you can't go into the other realms without your stuff. So she constructed a symbolic penis.
Wow.
The lightning rod.
Wow.
Melchizedek is a scientific formula which says to take 10% of everything you make and give it to the temple. I need you to hear me now. Not the church house, not the building, the temple. Take 10% of everything you make and put it aside and give it to the temple and invest it in the temple. Invest it in your mind. The temple. The temple is you. Take 10% And once you take it and plant that 10%, so here's another story. The farmer, he buys 10 bags of seed. He knows that 9 of those bags of seeds may not germinate. Some of them fall on rock, some of them fall on hard earth, some of them the wind and the birds eat them. But 1 bag of seeds is going to germinate. How do you germinate a seed? You put it in darkness in the earth. It has to be darkened. That's why Mel is darkness. You must plant your 10% of the energy, which is the resistance from the work that you have put in, and use it to impregnate, to give life. This is an emergency? That means we hit something, huh?
Now I had to come and get it to him. I had to come and give it to him right quick. You was right there. I had to come and give it to him right fast. I had to come and give it to him.
Giving it.
Ooh, turn my
Emergency.
That's that big
Everything
small.
you plant, you must plant in darkness. Where did Moses or Musa go to receive the message of God? Up on the mountain in the cave at night. Where did Muhammad receive the message? Up in the mountain in the dark cave at night.
The brother who got the formula for Reiki, where did he get it from? Up in a cave.
At night or in darkness. Buddha sat under the dark shade of the Bodhi tree. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad in jail, in darkness. Malcolm X in jail, in darkness. Martin Luther King, they had to stop putting him in solitary confinement because when he came out, he came up with all those heavy speeches in darkness. Nelson Mandela was in darkness. For how many years? Did you see how he walked out? It just took the country because he was in meditation in darkness. Christ, whatever you want to call him, Jesus, I'm still trying to figure out how he got a Spanish name, Isa Ibn bin Pindera, Yeshua, whatever you want to call him. He was only able to resurrect in darkness in the cave. Where is the cave?
Uh-oh.
It's the head.
Boom.
Your brain can only operate in darkness. The skull is also known as the cave. The cave is when you create a kinesthetic, auditory, visual experience. Kinesthetic, the body, movement. You mean to feel it. This money that you desire, you're going to need to feel as if you have it. Auditory, you need to hear the sounds around you when you have the money. Imagine it. What are people saying? What are you saying? Hear the money falling. Hear the gold bricks dropping. Visual, you're going to need to see the money, the houses, the homes, the friends in all walks of life, the airplanes, the jets, the random acts of kindness. You're going to need to see that. You're going to need to see yourself feeding people who desire things. And you're going to need to make that into an experience. That's called the cave. A kinesthetic, auditory, visual experience. That's how you manifest. If you cannot feel it, hear it, and see it, and create an experience in the cave, in darkness, then you can't plant the seed, because the seed cannot germinate in light. The sperm cannot connect with an egg in light, but you've been chasing enlightenment. Have you snapped? Oh, I'm enlightened. I always want to be enlightenment. I'm going to an enlightenment meeting. Why would you be going to an enlightening meeting? and enlightenment. Why would you be doing that? Where does light come from?
Uh-oh.
Darkness. Triple darkness. What was first? Darkness. Then there was light. Then there was sound. Listen to what I'm saying. You're going to need to use your imagination, and you're going to need to use it 10% of the time. You're going to invest in your imagination and play like a child as if you already have it. Do not see it first. That's backwards. Your brain, your mind, and your spirit does not work that way. You've been taught that. Somebody taught you to see it first. Your eyes will fool you. Photoshop. Come on. Your eyes are photoshopping all kind of things. You actually are not seeing anything. A wave comes out of your eye and decides what it would like to see, and then it bounces back in based on your filters, based on what you believe subconsciously. This is why 10 people see the same thing happen and have 10 different stories. So you cannot believe your eyes. And then you keep calling your first eye the third eye. Where you get that from? Just repeat. Just be repeating this foolishness.
Parroting. I call it parroting. Parroting. I want a cracker. Got a cracker? I want a cracker. This night eye.
First eye. These eyes are fooling you. They've agreed. They've made contracts. This is how people fix their sight problems. They use the Bates technique. The Bates technique, which is a very old book on how to fix your eyes, has to do with you imagining what it is you'd like to see and how to move your eyes and do this, ocular yoga to reprogram your eye. Excuse me. Let me sum it up. You're going to need to take 10% and be like Melchizedek and invest 10% into meditation or the mind creation in the cave of what it is you desire. Before it even shows up, it's got to start in your mind. And don't go, talking about, I'd like to make $1 million. You need to say or more. I am creating $1 million or more. And anything that pops up in you, you say it right now. If any feeling pops up in you, if you get an organ right now, everybody just say it. I am attracting $1 million, and take a deep breath.
I am attracting $1 million or more. Easily.
Now, some of you are feeling a sensation somewhere in your body. If it's in the kidneys, it's fear popping up. If it's in the liver, it's anger popping up. If it's in your spleen, it's worry popping up. If it's in your lungs, it's grief popping up. Well, grief, what do you mean? Well, you love grandpa. And grandpa, all he had was pennies. He saved pennies. He never had much. We all had to put money together to bury him. And you love him. You love him so much you become like him. So you're grieving that he's not here. So you want to be like him. Like people that smoke cigarettes. Sometimes they smoke because somebody they love, they smoked. And you say, come on, Dr. B, come on. I don't think about that. Your subconscious don't think. It's the biggest computer on the planet. If you took all the computers on the planet, the fastest ones, and linked them all together, it could not do what your subconscious can do. It's the fastest, quickest computer on the planet, your subconscious. It is not in your head. It's too big. It's in your biosphere. It's in your magnetosphere. It's 50 feet from your body. It's all around you. There's a process I do, Coach Kair, that is really powerful. We call it the transcoding. Transcoding came to me one day when I realized that no matter what we did with people, when they went to their home, they were reprogrammed to the vibration of their home. Well, you sleep there most of the time, like let's say 8 hours. You're there home most of the time. Well, your home, right? Your walls have eyes and ears. They speak based on what? What you've said and done in your home. So you're out there on the front lines, you're in charge, you're the supervisor at the job, your ego is huge, you're firing people, hiring people. You get home, you just little old me. Your name ain't Mustafa anymore, it's just Willie Jenkins.
Wow.
You see, because your home reminds you of who you are at home. So that means there is a ghost or a group of ghosts living in your house. Please study the work of Gabor Mate. Gabor Mate, the man that helps get people off drugs. He realized that the brains of people on drugs became shaped like the environment they lived in. The brain changes shape based on the environment. The walls of your house have hieroglyphic symbols written into it. Your subconscious sees it. Your conscious mind doesn't. Words like can't, won't, broke, sad, sick, crazy, lost, turned out, poor me. Those vibrations are etched into the walls, the substructure of your home. It can be proven through quantum physics. Your home you're living in is not even yours. You think it's yours. You don't own it because you haven't spoken the right words and done the right process to program the home so that the substructure and every molecule of the wood, the cement, and everything in your house becomes who you say for it to be. When you learn this transcoding and you go through this process, it's a 3-hour process that I move people through. You rewrite every molecule in your home with who you are. You become the authority. You become the composer. You become the author. You become the publicist. You become the writer. You become the arranger. You become the captain. You become the engineer of your abode. Because in your home, there's many mansions, and a whole lot of them you don't own them. Just this one process changes people. So part of my wealth building process is to subconsciously implant in your home and in your head who you are. But you're going to need a mission. And that mission cannot be changed. You're going to need a goal. You're going to need a destination in your home. If you're having sex, the person you're having sex with, you need to impregnate them with your mission. If you're eating food, you need to impregnate your food with this mission. If you're drinking water, you need to hold it in your hand and impregnate it. You got to energize it and be enthusiastic about who you are and what you expect from the world. Now you're like Melchizedek. You are investing in darkness of the, most of the universe is made of dark matter. It's feminine. It's liquid, fluidic space. But the universe don't know who you are because you may not have spoken and you keep changing. You change every month. You're going to school for this. You're going to school for that. You're going to a university. You didn't go for 40 years. A university is a 40-year institution for real. This is where it comes from. Timbuktu and all those schools. It was a 40-year mystery system. You got 4 years and you think you got a degree. What you ain't gonna do with a degree? You can't do nothing with 5 degrees. You need 360 degrees to make a circle, and then you got to expand that circle and create a spiral, and then that spiral begins to vibrate. Now let me finish this because I know you want to say something, Khayr. We are in the photon band. The photon band is a place in space where there's this energy where the molecules of space are glowing. Every 16,000 years, our solar system goes through the photon band for 2,200 years. Every time we go through the photon band, the people wake up from the deep sleep. They begin to be able to speak telepathically. They begin to be able to change the molecules around them. They can levitate stones. They can manifest whatever it is they desire because the light that is coming from the photon band illuminates and wakes up all the parts of you that have been asleep. Your thoughts move 100 times faster. You notice how days move really quickly? Time is moving faster. We're in the quickening. So things are popping up even faster. So when you talk about how you're broke and you're this and you're that and you don't have this and you don't have blah, blah, you're getting it even faster because this is what you commanded to the world as the genie. So you're going to need some help with this. You're going to need to get with people like the coach. Go pay this man. You got to pay him too. Don't ask for some free stuff. You want a discount because you're going to get discount energy. Anytime you're always looking for a discount, that's what you get from the universe because you sound broken. I need a discount. Can you give me a discount? Rich people pay top dollar and they give away 50% of everything they get. And they invest 10% into an investment that's going to grow like crazy. They give away 50% so they can get that off on their taxes. They do random acts of kindness. All of them do. Even the ones you call evil. That's why they get their friends out of jail and I need you to do such and such. I don't need you to blah, 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 blah. The power is in having a mastermind group that understands these principles also. And you teach them. You bring them up. You don't stand on people's testicles and try to keep them down. Because in order for you to keep somebody else down, you got to stay down with them. You bring people up. And the final piece, you need to celebrate. Celebrate tells yourselves that you're thankful for what you already got. All the life lessons, all the abundance. You may talk about how bad it is in America, but you go some places, you will be glad to get back to America. Some places that you say, yeah, I want to go where it's all my people. You get over there and you're like, oh man, these folks is doing stuff and dolls is walking and people is walking around zombies and they done did, fruit won't grow even though we watered it. This folks know some stuff on this planet and it's ancient. You need to use what you have. I'm not saying don't go anywhere. I'm saying don't leave until you have found yourself because wherever you go, you find yourself. And the enemy lives in you. So to become rich and wealthy, you start by becoming healthy, having healthy friends, create a mastermind group, get your mind in a state where you can kinesthetically, auditorily, and visually have an experience and stay with that experience no matter what pops up around you, and get a mastermind group. People like the coach here, put him on your team. The way he broke that board out and spun it around, I was like, oh man, I ain't never even seen one of those before. He got something else going on. You get people around you who know more than you know about stuff. I help people reprogram their subconscious. I'm very good at it. I've helped people. There's people that come to me that some of them are very successful. And they keep coming to me because they need to tune up. Because if you live in this world, you're going to pick up toxic thoughts, toxic feelings, toxic emotions, and static electricity. So you got to keep tuning up, just like you tune up your car. Also get the subconscious, the total body paracleanse program to clean the parasites out, not just the ones in your colon. It's not hard to do. I'm talking about the ones that live in your eyes, your ears, and your brain, and your heart, and your liver. These are systemic parasites, and some of them are superbugs. And your little black walnut and cloves and the stuff you read in the herbal book is doing nothing but making the weak parasites die and making the strong superbugs stronger. Elevationtime.com. You got to do it on the physical level, and you got to do it on the mental level, and the spirit will fall in. But it's daily activity. And speak wealth. Hang with people who are either on the road to wealth or people who are wealthy. Go to the seminars. Your friends don't want to go, you go. Don't walk outside and say, it's a beautiful day, isn't it? What's wrong with you? Is it beautiful to you? You just say it's a beautiful day. Because you're giving up your power when you ask somebody else to be down with you. You see? Well, you believe in Doctah B? You believe in him? I ain't asked you to believe in me. Why you got to ask your friend? If you feel it. Because I'm a feeling person. I'm a musician. My thing is about the feeling. You got to feel it. You got to know it. You got to have it. You can't doubt it. You got to have faith. Faith is feel as if the thing has already happened. Feel as if the thing has happened. Feel as if the thing has already happened. And it begins to happen. It takes time. And sometimes it'll fool you like it's not going to happen. It is a storm. And this looks rough. And oh boy, I had $5. Now I only got 15 cents. Hold on. You got to have faith. And you got to keep moving even when it looks like it's not going to happen. You have to be enthusiastic. and get away from them people who are bringing you down. Those parasitic friends, those pigeons. If you're an eagle, do not eat and hang out with pigeons. You even make the pigeons nervous. Find out who are your people and stop this thing about our people, our people. You don't even know your people half the time because your people may not look like you. Some of the people you need to do business with, you may not agree with the way they live life. That has nothing to do with it. You're doing business. Do your business and get up out. Ain't nobody asked you to go to the ritual. You ain't had to go to the meeting. You do business with these people and get up out of there because you're going to need to be global right now. Global. And then you're going to become universal. Soul, the sun, solar, your solar plexus, the hara point. You got to project from there and life opens up. You want to be down? My number is 323-931-1212. 323-931-1212. It's a West Coast number, but I'm here in Atlanta. Come get me because I'm traveling a lot. We're teaching people to help themselves. You see, my website, elevationtime.com. Elevationtime.com. You got some diseases you don't think are curable or some situations the doctor gave up on, or you've tried everything and you've tried every herbalist in town. My products are different. I'm using magnetic flux. I'm using Reiki energy. I'm using what they call tachyon frequencies. I'm using crystals. I'm using flower essences. I'm using herbs that most people have never even heard of. My name is Doctah B. I am the medicine man. I can help you help yourself so that you can help me so we can become one. Because that's the only way we're going to make it is by realizing the oneness principle.
Bong. Listen, the man's phone number is in there, 323-931-1212. You numerologists, you closet numerologists, add it up. You closet numerologists, take his name and add him up and see if you don't weigh out. But listen what he said, if you're feeling. How many times have we said, I'm really feeling what, you can go to church and say, I'm feeling what the pastor said, but now we over here and we got the brothers in the building and we got the sisters in the building. We got whole oneness up in the building. That's what my joint says, one love. You understand? It says it's one love. And the ONE is Original Native Enterprises. See, I'm very enterprising. Sometimes it's Original Native Entertainment or edutainment, but tonight it's all about enterprising. We have to be enterprising the way we interact with our subconscious. We can't just be willy-nilly and just be like, I saw them on Blab and then it was really cool. Did you click the link and go to the website and grab something? You see what I'm saying? You got to be able to reach out and grab something. Some people say, well, coach, you've been putting his number and putting his stuff in there. You ain't even told people how to get with you. Man, listen, my strategy, I got the worst marketing in the world and people still find me. You understand? We're just like on MASH. Y'all used to watch MASH. That was meatball surgery. By the time you get to me and Doctah B, if you don't listen to us, you can go, you can ready to hit the cemetery. You understand what I'm saying? So we trying to patch you back together so we can send you home to be with your family and have a different life. We don't want you to go back out there on the front lines where you didn't have any place in the first place. All right. Now, all of you know I'm an unashamed opportunist. I want everybody to type in the chat room. If you feel that you are an unashamed opportunist, I want everybody to type unashamed opportunist. Right now, we kicking it like. We still ain't even had our informal meeting yet. We done talked on the phone a time or two, and we done said, and he was traveling, had to go somewhere, I had to go somewhere, and we ain't even called each other. But the oneness in what we do, you see what I'm saying? He don't eat lamb, I eat lamb. I ain't got no beef with him because he don't eat lamb. He ain't got no beef with me because I eat lamb. You see what I'm saying? I don't eat lentils, I eat collard greens. We ain't finding things to divide us. We finding things that we are one on, which is uniting our conscious mind with our subconscious mind so we can have some wealth, so we can have some health, so we can stop being on low vibrational density. You see what I'm saying? And Dr. B, how long ago did you find out about Blab?
Man, I found out about Blab this afternoon. That lady was calling me talking about, we're gonna be on Blab tonight. I said, Blab? What is Blab? Sounds like a science fiction movie. Something chasing you. Blab. The giant Blab. I didn't know what Blab was till today. In fact, it took me about a half hour to get on and figure this whole thing out. And I was like, okay. But I had no idea that you were gonna be on. And when you came on the last show, and then you asked me to be on this show, I said, well, this is perfect. Just let me go cut my pineapple. Let me breathe a little bit. And here we are, because things are happening really quickly. You have to be an opportunist, which means that you take the opportunities that are there and use them. But a lot of people are not even tuned in to know when the opportunity is in the air, and they blow it away because they're getting on the wrong train with the wrong ticket at the wrong time. There is a train. There is a vessel for you. There's a wave for you. There's a river for you. There's a path for you called the Tao. You got to know your Tao. T-A-O, Tao. What is your path? But most of us, we go along with this stuff and we end up with what we call a pathology. It's an illness. You're sick. You see, you become, you're lost. You see, now it's okay to be lost as long as you're ready to be found and help find yourself and go seek, assistance. You got to invest in yourself and not just look for the cheap stuff. You need the real deal right about now. So if you got to save up, if you got to borrow, if you got to put some money in hock or sell a car, believe me, I had to do all of that. When I was just studying to get healthy, it cost me $10,000 in 1 year to get healthy for me to be able to be here. The people who were teaching, some of them said, man, leave me $2,000 and we can talk. $2,000? That's right. Meet me in the woods. I'll have a drum. If you don't have $2,000, don't come. $2,000, man. Can I get a discount? I got cussed out. You are sick, my brother. You are crazy. You want a discount. You have a discount. It's called disease.
Wow.
But I learned about enrichment. I had to be talked to by people who respected me, and some of them will cuss you out. Life will cuss you out. Life will slap you and backslap you. You feel like you're unlucky. You're being taught. Every disease is a teacher. It's an opportunity for growth. You got cancer? Well, how'd you get it? What is it? How did you get it? Well, I was born with it's my genes. Your genes are not programmed for disease. Now, there's some things people are born with. There are some congenital situations that people are born with, but most of the things you picked up, like you hear every time you hear the news, black men are going to get prostate cancer. Where do you get this from? Sister came to me the other day and said she has, precancerous cells on her uterus. I started clapping. I said, what's wrong with you? I said, didn't you say they were precancerous cells? You didn't say they were cancerous. You said they were precancerous. Well, the doctor said they're going to turn into cancerous. I said, did he have a purple phone? She said, what do you mean a purple phone? Directly to God? Is he a prophet? Did he have a staff with a crystal and a pyramid levitating in the room floating? How's he going to tell you what it's going to become? And you believe him and you follow him blindly, and now all of a sudden you're going to die and be sick or get cut or get burned. Pre-cancer, pre-diabetes, or any borderline thing means that you don't totally have it yet. And if you have something, there is a way that you may be able to change the outcome. People have come to me, they have brought people to basically on stretchers. And I asked them, do you want to live? And if they say, well, I don't know. Oh, you got to go. Come get him out of here. If when you say you're ready to live, you say I'm ready to get wealthy. People come to me all the time and say they can't have a baby. The man don't make enough sperm, and the woman, her ovaries is flipped upside down. Well, now there's about 10 children. The people are trying to name after me, Baby Doc. And, because there's a process, there's a vibrational rate that you have to get to. You have to tune up. You have to attone and in tune. There's a rhythm. There's a way you're going to need to eat, the way you're going to need to talk. There's rituals and the ceremonies that you're going to need to do. You're going to need to take off your shoes and put your naked feet on the ground. I know it's cold outside. Don't trip. You need a little shock sometimes. But that pulse wave that Mother Gaia sends up through your feet, it comes up and it vibrates and it hits your pelvis, which is a tuning fork, which sends it up through the top of your body, up through the core. Then the energy comes down from Father Earth, and it comes down and it goes through the lens at the top of your head. And that lens hits the pineal. And I don't want to hear this talk about your pineal's calcified. I'm tired of it. How you know you're calcified? Well, you know, the brother told me, you believe your pineal's calcified, so it is. So decalcify it. How do you do it? First, you need to know that it's decalcifying. If you sit here now and feel it long enough, you will actually decalcify your pineal. Your pineal is calcified by two things. Excuse me. Fluoride. Fluoride calcifies all of your organs. And number two, the thought that is calcified. So your thought is acidic. The body's going to try to make calcium because you got an acidic thought, and it's going to build up in your body because calcium cools down acid. You see? So your processing, your manner, the way you move each day is moving you towards your path. If you become passionate and enthusiastic about changing, not just conscious. I'm tired of this talk, you conscious. And where's your farm? What do you own? Now, some people I've met, I say that, and they own stuff. They really got stuff. They got it cracking. The average person is conscious. They got the clothes, and they got the look, and they go to the meetings, and they burn in the sage, and
shea butter, and they got shea butter. They got shea butter.
Shea butter and patchouli. I'm so tired of the patchouli. What is it? I smell a patchouli flower. I don't smell nothing like that. What is that stuff? Well, I got the oil from Africa. So every oil from Africa is good. Most of that stuff's petroleum. Is it an essential oil? Is it natural? Where'd it come from? This is black. You know what I'm saying? It's ancient. Do you know that these ancient people probably knew nothing about what you're talking about? You know that. You don't know the ancients because if you knew them, you would know they're in you. Your ancestors are your cells. Your genes come from them. So you should be able to access the them that is in you. And you disrespect what you call an ancestors by being involved with some stuff that's really just talk. It's breath. I'm saying we have to get into action to manifest and to be conscious and wealthy, or what I call aware. I like to use the word aware and wealthy. Then we become also healthy. We can feed the world. We can help the folks everywhere by being the lighthouse. Does the lighthouse wait till there's a boat out there to begin to blink and shine?
No.
The lighthouse is sending out Morse code. The Morse code constantly. Dots and flashes. That's Morse code. Some brothers say, well, I'm Moorish.
Oh, Jesus.
What do you have more? That's all I'm saying. I'm not, you can say, I'm with that. Right on, brother. What do we have collectively? Why are we tripping on what somebody else don't have? And what their belief system is? This brother want to eat lamb. He can eat all the lamb he want. You trying to tell me he's not whatever because he's eating lamb? It's not about what folks are eating. It's about how they're regulating their life. You need to know what to eat, how much to eat, and when to eat. What was the movie? Dark Crystal. Powerful movie, Dark Crystal. They saw this big thing that this lady had made. And they asked her, what was it? She said, this is how to know when. It was a metaphysical, it was a sacred geometry model of the universe. And they said, this is how to know when. And I added to it. You need to know how to know when and when to know how. When to be silent. Your emotions will keep you in a state of being poor, broken, lonely every time. You become too emotional. Emotional is energy in motion. Energy in motion tends to stay in motion until acted upon by an equal or opposite force. You have to stop it. I'm not saying you don't ever be emotional. I'm saying we have too much. We react to everything. They come on the news and show you something. You're all up in arms and you got banners and you talking. You weren't even there. You have no idea whether this happened at all. Half the stuff they showing you didn't even happen. It didn't even happen how they say it happened. As soon as something happened, all of a sudden, we found their driver's license on the ground. The buildings fall in New York. We found 11 driver's licenses. Everything else was vaporized. You found 11 driver's licenses an hour after the buildings was vaporized. People, oh my God, it's terrible. What happened? You don't know what happened. You don't know who did it. So get out of it. Is that your business? What is your business? Your home is your business. The way you eat, the way you talk is your business. Who you got around you, that's your business. Mind your business and only do business with people who do business with you. Get out of other people's business. Start celebrating everybody's success. If you are not celebrating everybody's success, then your cells don't think that you are joyful, healthy, wealthy, and wise. Start celebrating the success of other wealthy people or people who are making moves in their lives. Stop getting involved with all this disagreeable talk about what they did and who spent their money how and who had a sneaker and who blah. If you ain't got something good to say, then don't say nothing at all, because your subconscious thinks that that's all happening in you, which reduces you. So now you're tired. So now you are having what? An energy deficit. You don't have enough energy, any inner God force. Your geometry is all over the place. So your GPS don't work because you don't know what direction you're going for, where you're coming from, and where you're going. So you're lost and turn out, and you're a boat just floating in the ocean, and you don't realize you're the captain. You're down there eating beans and rice in the belly of the boat, not realizing that you're supposed to be the captain. Get up. Keep talking about what had happened. Well, let me tell you, Doctah B, what had happened 42 years ago. And, you start crying about something that happened 42 years ago. Okay, do that. Now, what would you like? Or are you going to stay stuck in hell? You got to create heaven on earth. And you have to be ready and willing to do it. So I do boot camps with people. I take people out in the woods. We're going to get rid of all your fear. And it's going to cost. You're going to have to pay for this, either in energy, time, effort. It's going to cost something to get there. Because when people get stuff cheap and get it free, they lose it.
When you don't pay, you don't pay attention. When you don't pay, you don't pay attention. When you don't pay, you don't pay attention. You understand? When your lights get cut off and you go pay that lights, you pay more attention to something that you misuse every day, because some of y'all are not functionally using electricity right because you don't really understand where it comes from. But then when somebody says, this is going to cost you, you see what I'm saying? And somebody talks about, well, it's more than a true story. My teacher right now, I study with Dr. Mitchell Gibson. He has, this weekend we was in Charlotte. He has 6 books that he wrote this year. 5 of them are $3,000. No, 4 of them are $3,000. One of them is $1,500, and then he got one of them on sale for $300, and he said by December it's going back up to $1,500, right? I've never even been around an author who even had a book that was available to the public who had a book for more than, $200. Malachi York, the Holy Tablets, you can go on eBay. The most I ever seen a Holy Tablet going for was about $850. I just saw one the other day for like $650. Like, you can't even bid on mine, period. You understand? You can't even ask me, can I borrow this, or what would you sell my Holy Tablet for? It's priceless, right? So this brother is selling books, and guess what? The stacks was going down like this. That means I was in a room of people who said, this is in my budget. There were 250 people in the room. There was a staff. There was a wand over there that was $10,000 that I was holding in my hand, drawing Reiki symbols on my cousin who had just came out of a bad breakup. The workshop was $75. Normally they $250. I paid her way to come because that's my blood, it's my family. And then she was like, "What's this?" I was like, "Hold your hands out. Let's get right now." And I was just writing all over her. Just writing all over, telling her to breathe. You understand? Now, is that too expensive for a book, $3,000? You're asking the wrong question. What type of person pays for a book that's $3,000? That's the type of person who has proven to the gods that he can take care, or she can take care of their basic necessities. Because $3,000 is not a bunch of money. But if you throw pearls to swine, and all of a sudden the next thing you know, you ain't gonna pay no attention to it. And plus, you know good and well you still buying, you got $150 a month marijuana budget. You got a weave budget. It costs me about $60 to get my hair done. So you women, I know what the fake hair is running. A wig is about $400. You understand? Them pocketbooks, $300. Michael Kors pocketbooks, and you want red bottom shoes, and you want Porsches, and all that. But when it comes to something that's gonna totally transform your life, you sit there and say, why is it so much? The same reason the Porsche is, the same reason that the red bottoms is. And guess what? You can have both of them. You should have both of them. You should have a house that's worth more than $1 million. You should have 5 friends who are worth more than $1 million. You should have 10 of those. That's not even on your dream team. I'm talking about this, that y'all just hang out. You understand? That you got a long ass driveway just before they get to your crib. You see what I'm saying? Because you don't want to keep, I don't want diseased people getting close to my house unless I invite them. You understand? And that's our problem now. We don't have no filters up, and we start letting people in with no boundaries. You women be talking about the purse. He can't have none of this, Doctah B, unless he do this right here. But you don't treat your mind like that. You understand? They go together. The clitoris is attached straight to this pineal gland that you keep talking about. The clitoris is connected directly to the hypothalamus area. You understand? Go look up the word sapiosexual. I don't care if it is a brand new word. That's the root of erectile dysfunction. For me, my dick is not gonna get hard if you say something crazy, or I ain't mentally stimulated. How many of y'all in here is like me? You understand? I can't even I know it's a mental disturbance if somebody talking about raping somebody. I can't even, the only way you can get loud and my penis stay erect if it's something that I created in the loudness. But that energy that comes off, that's a mentally deranged person. So we have to start making our minds say, I'm so happy and grateful that Doctah B is going to let me circulate this $200. So let me go into what you're going to find out when you come back on my station. Doctah B, I don't use the word spend. I think it's a curse word. I use the word circulate. I talk to my money, and I say, go out there and talk to them 20s and them 50s and 100s and tell them that I treat you better than any other owner and generator and operator that you've ever been with. So when I break that 100 or break that 50 or break that 20, and then a few days later, they come creeping back around talking about, these my friends. These my friends. Remember, I got the worst marketing in the world. Doctah B got a nice, pretty website. He had somebody answer the phone when I called him a while ago. Not me, but guess what? I know how to program my money. I know how to program and talk to my money like a sophisticated woman. And she goes out there and she brings other women back to me. That's how you can do that too. We're not doing something that's impossible. So you circulate. And where should you circulate it to? You should circulate it as an investment. You should go to Doctah B and say, Doctah B, now I do have a right to say I'm looking for ROI. Ain't no problem with that, because we are guaranteed. We ain't out here, like every time we serve someone, we know that we putting our reputation on the line. Doctah B, how long you been doing what you've been doing?
Man, I've been doing most of this most of my life. It's just that I didn't get paperwork and all that and get my security together. See, a lot of us, we have a security issue. See, we don't see the cure. We don't know that we are the cure. See, security means that you are the cure. You know, see, my mentor and one of my teachers is Dick Gregory. You know, we talk, you know, whenever we talk often. I'm like, man, you're out. This man is a multi-millionaire. In fact, the whole idea of a protein shake was created by Dick Gregory. This man has so many things that he's done, patents, and it's incredible. And he walks by himself. He'll be on a bus stop one day just sitting there. He'll have no security. The FBI, the CIA is trying to hit him many times. They end up becoming his friends, sitting on the bench talking to him. He says, you have to be the cure. You have to become safe within yourself. Because usually what happens is the people you hire to be your security are the ones that will hit you from within. They can be paid. You paid them. Somebody pays them a little more. A lot of people, even many of you listening, are what you call government agents. What do you mean, Dr. B? You're dissing us. No, you're a government agent. Why? Because you was trained in the United States of America. So you held your hand on your heart and said pledge allegiance to that flag, and you had holidays and things that happened when you were young. The programming was put into you just like those chips that they put in people. The chip is an organic biochemical chip based in ideas and experiences. So a lot of people will leave this program and go talk right now and get to talking to the wrong folks. You're going to try to say what Coach Khayr said and what Dr. B said. You're not going to repeat it correctly because you haven't even internalized it. You see, you begin to water it down the energy before you could even use it. That's an agent. You see, you are not able to maximize it yet. You say, well, Dr. B said to do such and such. And you haven't really done it yet. It's just ego. And back to circulating your money. Every time you hand somebody promissory notes, gold, or anything, say in your mind, return 1,000-fold. When I do my workshops, I teach the techniques that causes it to come back to you. Start with 1,000. Some folks say 1,000,000-fold. No, don't do that because your subconscious already is going to shut that down. Too big. Start with 1,000. You hand something, and in your mind, you say, return 1,000-fold. Return 1,000-fold. Then you end up giving more and doing more random acts of kindness. Brother's on the corner one day, right? And I'm riding with this sister. And, he says, I need some money to get to work or such and such. And I give him $10. The sister said, don't give him no money. He's there every day. He's a shyster. I said, ma'am, I'm giving him money because it's going to pay me back. I don't care if he's on drugs, if he's an alcoholic. That is not my business. I am circulating my energy. This is my currency. I'm giving it away. That is not my thing to judge. See, judgment keeps a lot of us down. Judgment shuts off all your stuff. Yeah, he ain't nothing but and Dr. B, he's such and such, and he's such and such. I heard he used to be such. Okay, so what? What does that got to do with you? What you do when you do that, the subconscious thinks you're talking about yourself. So as you talk disagreeable talk, you're cursing yourself. You're cursing yourself out of what? Out of your opportunities. Stop talking. Shut it down. Shut up. It's a lot of times, your brothers is rapping to a lady and you got to the point where it's happening, but you keep talking. Shut up. Be quiet. Same thing with you, sister. You talking too much. I didn't ask all that. Let's get the pertinent information. And we need to figure out who we're aligning ourselves with. And we need to learn the processes. There are kinesthetic exercises. They come from a study called occupational kinesiology. It's part of one of the studies I studied, occupational kinesiology. There are certain movements of your hands and certain ways that you move your body that moves you towards your focus. You have to get your head to be in what is called a whole brain state each day, because you lean towards one side or the other. Just being right-handed or left-handed tells you that you're leaning towards one side or the other. Most of us who are right-handed were forced to be right-handed, to be more male, to be more dominant. You see, women should be more feminine. They are magnetic. Women shouldn't have to do too much of anything but sit around and imagine energy coming to them.
Which is why we often say, shut up, because you get on that negative tip and you be putting the bad magic out there. And then you start taking it the wrong way when somebody says, I can't hear told me to shut up. I'm trying to stop the negative magic. What else do you want me to say? You see what I'm saying? What else you want me to say? What other thing is appropriate if you keep saying I'm broke? Or if you tell me my plan won't work? You my woman and we laying around having sex and I come home and say, you know what? I just had this $1 million ideal. I just left Dr. B. I just circulated about $400 with him, and you say, oh, you crazy. I can't believe you gave that nigga all that money. And then I look at you and tell you to shut up. You understand? Because what you're doing is trying to block the household blessings. You on your way out. So I'm trying to save you. So we thought, but otherwise you could just be like, you know what? I'm gonna energetically accept what the king has done. The king, not the court jester and not the prince, but the king. That's a whole nother topic we got to come at. How do you get the king in your life? Or how do you get the right goddess in your life? Start with having a wealthy mindset, and then you won't be able to attract a broke woman. You won't be able to attract a broke man. You'll be able to attract somebody with a wealthy mind, a wealthy heart, a wealthy spirit, and a man who got some balls, and a woman who got some vision, who got some nurturing abilities. You got to develop that within yourself first, because you showing the universe, what do I deserve? If you don't, why should you have it and you don't really deserve it yet? Just like he just said, you ain't qualified. Why you want to go and try to repeat what Dr. B said or what Coach K said? He ain't even dropped the piece about why we talk so fast and why we just be hitting you with that rapid fire. I tell people all the time, I'm talking to your subconscious, I'm talking to your DNA. I'm not even worried about whether you caught it or not. Your DNA likes the speed that I'm giving it to you. Why do you think they used to draw in hieroglyphs? Why do you think that the Enuma Elish is written in wedges? Because that's what the eye wants. This whole language that we have is retardation, slowing us down. I got to read this book. I want to learn all these different languages. Why can't we have some common symbols? You think extraterrestrials who have 6 and 7 digit IQs communicate by reading books? I doubt it.
We are the extraterrestrials.
Bam, 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 bam.
We are the extraterrestrials. There are also intraterrestrials. Do you know there's whole beings living inside your body? This whole universe is inside you. Some of you, you know those movies where something landed in the woods and then suddenly everybody in the town starts acting different? This is what happened. You are not even who you think you are, because a lot of us are being used as a host by some other beings. There are times we have to snatch stuff out of people. For real. This is some real stuff. Energy that's caught in you. You talking about ghosts and goblins? I don't know what you want to call them. Stuck energy that needs to move. Parasitic energy using you. And if these aliens, oh boy, you're scared of the aliens, if they need you, they couldn't be too powerful. Why do they need you?
Wow.
Why do they need you? You're scared. You're fearful. Stand up. Be courageous. You don't need the wizard to give you a heart and to give you courage. What's the song the man said in The Wizard of Oz? The Lion. You know the most famous song that he sang that most people don't even remember?
No, I don't even know what it is.
It's hard believing Missy when you know you are a sissy without the feminine breath.
Wow.
It's hard believing in Miss America or any woman. When you know you're a sissy, you're not standing straight up on your own, you're controlled. And you are not even born through your mother, you're reborn through the mind of man. The lion loses its courage. One thing about a true lion is this always will be a lion, even on its deathbed. A bear will always be a bear. Why do we give up our lion-heartedness? Why do we give stuff up based on people, places, things, and times and experiences? Because you're constantly looking to false things. You have a false sense of security. If you decide and choose that you would like an expensive automobile, what I would like you to try is once a week, go to the car dealer and sit in the expensive car. Don't worry, the salesman thinks you got money. He's going to let you do whatever. Just get in the car, close the windows, and just sit there and hold on. And imagine you're driving. Smell the leather. Just imagine you're in it. Keep doing that. These houses and homes that you'd like to buy. Go visit them. When you see the flags out there on certain days, walk in, look through the whole house, and act like you got $1 billion. Oh, I really like that marble. Oh, the such and such. And the sun comes in. Right? Keep doing it. Just keep doing it. The things that you desire, go experience them. Even if it's in your mind. And your body begins to follow your mind. Energy follows thought. Energy follows thought. Thought does not follow energy. So there are practices and things that we are beginning to do that we have to keep doing. And one other thing, I forgot to mention this. Stop talking about how bad we doing. We as black people, see, we used to have and what we, shut up. It's people right now. The richest man on the planet is a black man. The richest person ever in history is a brother. Nobody has made more money than this brother. Go do the research. But you think that we broke. You don't even know enough people to say that. You're lying. You just know a few people around the hood who talk about how broke they are. You see? You need to stop talking about what we are doing because you don't even know we. Do you know how many black people it is in Brazil? Do you know all of them? Do you know how many black people it is in Atlanta, New York, D.C.? Do you know all these people? You know we're all broke. I know some black folks got a lot of money and a lot of power and own a lot of land. They're not talking about it. They're not on television on the 6 o'clock news. So stop talking about what we don't have and how bad it is for us. My father told me something very interesting. I was a militant. I wore army clothes and army boots constantly. He said, "Oh, you want to be in the military, huh?" I said, "No, I'm a militant." He says, "Well, you're a rebel without a cause." I'm mad. You know what I'm saying? What do you mean I'm a rebel without a cause? You know, I wanted to be in the Black Panthers, but when I got old enough to get in them, they was gone. You see? So I couldn't be one, and my father one day, I said, see, the problem is racism. All this racism is messing us up. My father looked at me and says, "Son, I'm a lot older than you. I have never experienced racism." Now my eyes began to burn. I was with him when they called him disagreeable names. I was there when stuff got thrown at our house. We moved in that neighborhood. When stuff was written on cars. Somebody carved up half our lawn at some point. I said, "Dad, what's wrong with you? You've lost your mind." He said, "No, I have my mind. I have never experienced racism." And he walked off. This messed with me for years and years. I'm like this. My father then snapped. Then it hit me one day. What he was saying was, he didn't say racism didn't experience. It wasn't out there. He didn't say people didn't push racism towards him. He didn't allow the experience to move him. So he became the first black this, the first black engineer at his job, the first black draftsman to help build half the city. He designed the water pipes that went in the city. My father did what was considered impossible because even though they called him names, he did not let that impale him and stop him. He used that as energy. My father was very successful. And I didn't get it because I was mad like a dog, angry. When you are able to move past anger, because anger is healthy, but after a while you move past anger and you turn that anger into love and you become a lover and you begin to love everyone, even the ones who you say are your enemy, because they're just misfits. They're your children. What are you talking about? What they did. You allowed them to do it. And you continue to allow them to do it. Somebody asked me on another radio show, they said, "But Dr. B, man, all this stuff, you see all this stuff going on with the police." I said, "Things have gotten a lot better." He says, "Man, you're crazy. And what you got is more internet now. When I was growing up in the 60s, they was taking out whole neighborhoods, dropping bombs on people. Nobody said nothing. Yes, sir, boss. Excuse me. Things they have a long way to go. But there's always going to be people that are fearful of other people and have issues with other people. Some black ants got issues with red ants. I saw them arguing one time out in the back. I was in Detroit and I saw the black squirrels. I never saw a black squirrel in my life until I started going to Detroit. And I saw the gray squirrels gang up on the black squirrel. And the black squirrel ran off. And the black squirrel came back with about 100 black squirrels and chased the little gray squirrels off. I said, there is classism and differences everywhere. It's never going to be gone. It's who you are in your own self that makes the difference. Yes, things may happen to you that are unfortunate. Some of them are lessons. But you're going to have to get your power back and stop giving it away and stop talking about how you're superior and somebody else got a superiority complex. You need to be the captain of your ship and of your home and of your words and of your thoughts. You need to stack up your chips so you can buy the land so you can go out and live as a separatist if you'd like and get off this situation. It's happening in the cities. Get out the city. And don't just buy them little fake houses that they made in 15 minutes, made out of press board with the glue and the formaldehyde is toxic. Yes. You need to go out and build something. You can build houses out of clay. You can build houses out of hemp. You can take tires and cans and dirt and make some of the most powerful houses there are. They keep you warm in the winter and they keep you cool in the summer. Adobe huts. You can build houses that are round because when you live in a room that's square, the resistance from the sound waves reduce who you are because they are not round like a womb. A room should be a womb, which means that it's round. So you have standing waves in the walls of your house. This is why in recording studios, we always made the rooms shaped not round or not square. We had to break off the corners. There's energy. There's things that we do when I go to people's homes where we change the energy flow of the home. I go to businesses. People hire me to go to the business to get the whole team on post. And the whole team subconsciously and consciously become winners. How do we do it? We change the square room into a round room. We change the resonance frequency of the people. And I use my drums. I have different instruments I use. This is one of them called the medicine drum. And these put out frequencies 432 hertz, 512 hertz, 528 hertz. Look them up. To change the frequency of life. Because life is musical. Life is an orchestra. But because we are in the photon band, everything is available. You could do anything right now. So speak no evil. See no evil. Touch no evil. And you will become golden. And you will illuminate what's called the divinity code, which is in every cell of your body. And yes, you're going to go through a lot. It's going to be uncomfortable. And yes, it may cost you time. You may have to travel around the world and meet people you never met. But once you do this, you create a dynasty. You are the legend. The boy was looking for the alchemist. And at the end, he realized that he was the alchemist, which means that you must circumvent your circumstances. To do that, you're going to need to change base metals, which are meta-Ls. A meta-L is the unseen part of you, your spirit, your soul. Your Ba and your Ka is the meta-L. Changing the meta-Ls, the base meta-Ls, into gold, which is Gadel. Gadel, gold, Aura, Aureus, Or, Ura. The first note of the musical scale used to be Ura. Or, which is dark black gold. It was feminine. All frequencies come from Ura. Ura, Ray. See, they got Do, Ray. See, nobody got Do at the beginning of the scale and at the end of the scale? Because Do in Latin is money. Ray is the energy coming from the sun, and Ra, Mi, is miracle. Did you know that this was Latin? Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do. When you study the scale, this is some deep divine science. But you got to take the Do off. You got to put Ura back, the feminine. You have to put the woman back because she is the one that started. This whole thing about Adam and Evil. Think about that. It don't even work. So men have used this to become powerful. That's what they say. They made Mary Magdalene a hoe. Who did that? The Catholics. Because she was sleeping with my man, you know, whatever she was doing. That's her business. And stop worrying about who people sleeping with, where they spending their money. What's that got to do with you? I don't care nothing about that, who you sleep with. You can be bisexual, trisexual. What's that got to do with me? You can be mixing, interracial. You know, you can sleep with aliens. What does that have to do with me? That's going to burn my energy up. How can we work together? The aliens land in the backyard. I'm walking out there. I'm not taking a gun. If they're going to kill me, I'm dead anyway because they got magnetic pulse waves and lasers. I can't, what's my little pistol going to do? I'm walking right out there and say, hey, how y'all doing? What can we do? Let's hook up. Where y'all get that shit? Can I use it a couple hours? I got something I need to do. Can you show me how to work that? You see, y'all need some herbs. I got some herbs. Y'all want to get some subconscious alignment? The aliens may land in your backyard. Want a subconscious alignment. You can't live in fear. And if you do, you're done. So in order to become the black sheep, you're going to need to get off the farm, which is also called a menagerie. The menagerie. Look at the very first Star Trek. It's called the menagerie. Figure out what a menagerie is. It's like a zoo where they experiment on the animals. We have been part of a mass experiment. But because we're in the photon band and in the quickening, and the vibration of the earth and every atom is well, I shouldn't say atoms, neutrinos and particles, because nobody's actually seen an atom. They don't even know if atoms exist anymore. You know that. There's no such thing as an atom because nobody's seen it. It's just a theory. Like the rest of this stuff, it's theories. But everything is speeding up its vibration. Speed up your vibration. Learn when to talk. Cleanse your body. Stop eating food that eats you if it's messing with you. If it's helping you, eat it. I don't care. You eat pork chitlins. Are those chitlins helping you? Can you turn those chitlins into chips? If you can, let's work together. I have nothing to do with that. No judgment. I love you. You're my brother. Even though you don't like me, I'm your brother. I'm your sister. I'm your mother. I'm your uncle. I don't care about your color either. I don't care. You're not that color anyway. You're calling yourself one color. You're not that. Where's your land? Where's your dynasty? Where's your people? You can find me at elevationtime.com. Get on my email list. Elevationtime, time.com. My phone number is 323-931-1212. 323-931-1212. On the website, we're going to have classes, workshops. We're creating a whole membership model. We're setting up a situation where you can make money by spreading the word or the products. We're working on that now, so get involved. We are building a situation that's huge, and we're working together with other people who are ready to build instead of destroying. We've done enough destroying to ourselves. Never mind what they're doing. All this talk about racism. What about nutritional suicide? Never mind what they're doing to you. What are you doing to yourself? Do you know how to energize your food? Whatever you're eating, there's a way to energize it. There's a way to change the molecular structure. And are you getting rid of your parasites? Yeah, I know some folks use crystals and they use this. I'm telling you that the super bugs don't care nothing about that. When I was teaching at UCLA, we took the bugs in the lab. And we studied and studied until we found out what actually got rid of the super bugs. The weaponized bugs, the one they use to program to, in war. So they're in the environment. They're in you. You touch the door handle. You at the mall. You got on the escalator. You touch the button. You got them. You can use your walnut and your wormwood. Bless you, my brother, my sister. I specialize.
Bless you.
Systemic parasites live throughout the body. It takes 28 days. 28 days, a circadian rhythm to even begin to interrupt their lifestyle. Not 21 days, 28. Now, I got to get ready to go because, this was a last minute thing.
Hold on. I know, but once you get rolling, hold on for a second. I know I got at least 2 people that said they wanted to come in and make a quick statement. So we're going to let him go. But I'm about to, I wanted to just express how this is the synchronicity of his master plan with what he's doing with his site and it's becoming is so aligned with mine. And probably, if you look up at the top of the screen, Dr. B, you see 154 first, and then you see 43, right? 154 means that's how many people have come through here since you've been on. 43 means that's who's on here live right now. And I've been asking them to tweet it to their friends. So let's just say if each one of those 43 people have 100 people, and they all tweeted it to their friends one time, that means our frequency went out to 4,300 people while me and you chop it up on a humbug, non-planned show. You understand? Right. Now that's energy. Now, what if everybody has 500 followers times 154? That's how exponentially fast this thing can jump off. So when you asked me, you was like, Coach, you got followers? I got math and I got science and I know what energy we going, what we draw together. So this piece I want to share real quick because you touched it on a whole lot from the martial arts. And it's all about the humility, right? This is what I tell people. Submit to superior systems. Stop acting like you know every damn thing. So your little shea butter and your walnut oil and little things like that, your child got eczema, and you sitting there asking, what can I go to the grocery store to get? And a man like Doctah B Sirius say, not shit. Ain't shit you can get out the grocery store. We're going to have to put something together custom made for you, and it's going to cost this much. Then you need to jump on that, okay? You need to jump on that because he's got a superior system. That's another point. You cannot gain. You're not going to be able to gain wealth by using the system that you've been using, okay? Because you would already have it. You would already have it. So start being humble, which is the second, that's the second virtue in martial arts. Honesty to myself and others, humility in thoughts, words, and deeds of those above and beneath me. Patience, I'll put the needs of others before that of my own. And sincerity, I will fear only my lack of sincerity. It's very important that you show some humility on the way to the top. He said the man wanted $2,000 to take him down in the woods with a drum to show him how to save his life. If he wanted to keep his ego intact, Dr. B, couldn't you have said, man, I ain't going down there. I ain't got 2,000. And if I got 2,000, I ain't getting it to you. He could have done that. Whether he'd been sitting on blab tonight is another story.
Get the hell out of his face. I went home and got sicker and found that money and came back. Because there are people who are using substances in activities and they have processes that are way outside of what you know is possible. Because we have been programmed on the analytical side. The mind of reason has programmed us. But there are things in the unknown, the metaphysical. There are things in the energy world that you cannot see. You have to go into the quantum physics world to see them, to understand, to overstand, understand, withstand what these things are that you cannot see. You see, so I have been, I'm very grateful to have studied with masters. I've had some of the greatest teachers. I mean, of all kinds. Dr. Kweku Ando. Dr. Kweku Ando is the one that named me one of the most powerful teachers ever. Oh, the list goes on. Chief Little Bear. You know, these are people that you may not know that are very powerful people on this planet. Chief Bay. You know, I work with people who basically, I was the student, and they all said the same thing, that I was the teacher and that I was teaching them, and I couldn't accept it because my ego was broken. I had a security issues. You see, I was not secure in myself. But guess what? It gets to a point where you realize that what you have is golden. And if you're shy, that means you don't like to share. So even though I was an introvert, I was made to get on the stage and talk. I was made to sell products. I never wanted to sell a product. It's not what I got into this for. I got into this to help myself. But when people saw what happened to me, how my body, I released 85 pounds. How my hair came back. My skin got clear. My skin used to be terrible. I had splotches everywhere. I have not one. What did you do, Dr. B? I transformed. I listened. I learned. Most people wouldn't go through what I went through to learn what I've learned. But there's a few people who will. My thing is to teach you how to help yourself. And to do that, first, we got to clean you up. Physically, we got to get rid of those parasites. If you knew the world of parasites that I know, you would be on this. If you knew how many parasites have been released into the environment this fall by beings on this planet that know you're waking up. See, they know about the photon band and they know you're waking up. So they release substances, gases. They release things, excuse me, energy, light waves, to attempt to do what? To make you stronger. Did you know that those who are working against you are actually working for you? Because they're weeding out the weak ones. Like the lions weed out the weak deer, the antelope. You can't run fast, you got limp legs, you're going to get eaten. That helps the rest of the deer. Now you think they're going to sit around forever and tell me, oh man, them lions, those brown lions, man, I hate them. They killed Johnny and he's dead. They ate him. You have to get to this place. You realize everybody's not going to make it. There is no death. There just isness. You have to be in the business of the isness of knowing that whatever is in front of you is something that you can get over if you work at it. Don't just talk about it and be metaphysical and deep. Go shallow. Do some hard actual work, and you will overcome whatever's in front of you. It may take time. It may take your life. But what is it to live and do what you hate, or and have a long life doing what you hate, versus living a short life and doing what you love? What is it you would do if money was not the issue? What would you do? Woo! That's what's going to make you rich, because I'm doing what I do regardless of anyone. I do what I do because I love it. I make music because I love it. I'm not in the music industry anymore. I'm a musician. Go to my website. I got metaphysical music up there. I'm creating a jazz album with a lot of famous people who are recording in these sacred frequencies. I've worked with a lot of famous people who are coming back, who are adding. I got some new people who you've never heard of, who we're putting out as metaphysical music, medicine music. So whatever we do, if we do it in the right light, and we do it with love first, appreciation, and have gratitude. Say thank you more and more and more. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Are there any questions before I move off and eat the rest of my pineapple?
We doing tonight, Dr. B, at the end of my shows, or whenever you're getting ready to go, because this thing may still move on a little bit, because I'm going to hang out with them for a second. I always open up for comments, questions, and feedback, because we don't know everything. So somebody may have a question, somebody may want to give us a comment, and somebody may want to give us some feedback on, you know, Dr. B, we're going to give you a C, B, or A for your first time on Blab, you know, or Dr. B, we think you should come back with Coach Khayr another time, you know, yada, yada, yada. So I want to introduce you to Yvette. I met her on Blab the other day. I ain't been that long myself. And she's an amazing psychic, you know what I'm saying? So I love is really, yes, you are. Yes, you are. You're an intuitive empath, okay? You have a lot of gifts. Oh, she's a prophetess. Probably why prophets are scared to be psychics, but it's all good. Yes, ma'am. The floor is yours. If you have a question, comment, or feedback
Dr. B, I want to
Dr.
thank
B.
you so much for all of the information you gave us. And you gave us a lot of really, really, really awesome information. But my question is to you, if you could leave us, because you gave us so much, and I know people are still trying to process it, if you leave us with one thing, what is the one thing you want us to take away from all that you shared with us, if nothing else?
Your life is like the ocean, and you are a vessel, a boat, and your mind is the captain of the vessel. Check and see if you've got leaks in your vessel. Check to see if you've got pirates on your boat. Make sure that your vessel, your life is secure for you, and stop living based on the validation and ideas of outdated people that truly don't know you, and get rid of some of the trash that you've learned, because most of what you've learned is trash. So you are the captain, take out the trash. You are in charge of the crew, which is your subconscious. You must focus, begin healthy habits. If you just think every day, I'm the captain of my boat, storms may come. You're going to need to know to throw down anchor and wait, take down the sails, or try to go another direction. But you must choose in your own self and trust yourself. If you don't trust yourself, then get a mastermind group and people that you can speak to who are going to be non-biased, or who are not going to speak out of fear. Become the one in control of your life. Now, you got to start at little bits, just maybe one day. Don't talk to anybody. Cut the phone off. And just work at imagining that you are in charge. Do what you truly desire to do. And stop telling everybody what you're doing. Create a sacred space. A sacred space is a secret space. So that you, at least for one day out of the week, even if it's 1 hour, are with yourself, by yourself. Get to know yourself. When feelings come up, don't react. Start wondering where they're coming from. Are they really yours? Or are they coming from events or other people or energy out there? The captain must become the one at the driver's seat. A lot of us gave away the wheel. It's like getting in a taxi and just telling them to drive. You need a direction. And the main thing the captain needs is a destination. What is your goal? What is your mission? Just like, you tried to tell the sister how 3 things she was. She says, no, I'm a prophet. She corrected you. She's the captain. She's not those other things. She is if she says she's it, then all of the energies in the universe, which are like her, are with her. And she is it. So watch what you say, because you become it. Tag, you're it.
That's awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen, so much. I'm going to jump off. Thank you, Dr. B. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. So, Dr. B, you know what I'm saying, brother to brother, you know what I'm saying, mind to mind. I ain't gonna hold you. You got pineapples. I got some money to go make. Some other things been going on. My phone kind of been blowing up. Some people want me to come get some of this cheddar. And you know what? I'm an excellent receiver. You know what I mean?
I like that.
Me, I'm an excellent receiver. So it ain't gonna hurt. It ain't gonna hurt my feelings at all. Because I'm going to celebrate some wealthy, and I'm also going to make sure that I get my ship navigating on the right path for wealth. You know, and listen, elevationtime.com, elevationtime.com, elevationtime.com. Thank you. CoachKair.com, Coach K Astrology, Hustle University books. We have a plethora of gifts and talents that the creative divine force, the mega force, has given us to share. But he didn't tell us to give it away either, because that causes an imbalance in the universe. So if your subconscious mind is telling you that you're supposed to be getting everything for free, then you have identified your very first blockage to wealth. Okay? And for those of you who still, after we've been on here for 2 hours, think that money is evil, let me tell you, the sinister is getting money as a tool to do his work. You as the righteous can't just sit back and not have no tools and think you're going to do righteous work, okay? So get you some so the sinister won't have all of it. Like he said, what he said, Dr. B, you're going to have to face that fear. You're going to have to go see your enemy and sit down in his face. You see this smoke I'm burning? This is call money incense. I didn't know they even had a call money incense. You know, get you a box of these jokers right here. Call money. I've been burning these since you've been on here, Dr. B. I'm down for money coming to me. I'm down for sophisticated women to come around and holler at me. And no, I'm not gonna ask Dr. B about check the Bible. Somebody was like, psychics are evil, and I was like, what? They was like, check the Bible. I was like, you know, y'all don't want Dr. B to answer that. You don't even want him to address that. He that right there is that's taken away from his pineapple. You know what I'm saying? We can't really talk about wealth. We come over here to compete and do all that stuff in the Bible, but we will say that Jesus was about that cheddar, okay? This is my network, and I say what I want to say. You feel me? So, Dr. B, thank you so much for joining us. I will send you this. This video is being recorded, so when y'all go to Dr. B's YouTube channel, hopefully he'll think that this is good enough to put on his channel, because I'm definitely gonna put it on the Coach Khayr channel for sure. For sure. Dr. B, please, I want you to, we still got 37 people plus all the replays. Is there a chance that you might come back and honor us with another show maybe in a week or so and hang out with Coach Khayr and some of my closest friends?
I will return. For those of you who are in the Los Angeles area, I will be in the Los Angeles area from the 4th of December until about the 13th. I'm doing some lectures and some workshops out there. I will be at Agape International, Dr. Michael Beckwith's place. I work with them very closely. I am one of the resident herbalists there, and I'll be teaching there. And also there's a health food store, which is called Life Food Organic. Very good, incredible. They have all superfoods, and it's in Santa Monica. And I'll also be at the Black Business Women Rock Conference. Black Business Women Conference. Black Business Women Rock Conference. That's going to be in Pasadena on the 5th, Pasadena, California. So look that up. For those of you who are on the West Coast or the left coast, come on out and ride with us. And for those of you who would like me to work with you, you find me. I can be found on the internet. I do workshops. I do classes. I teach families. I do individual consultations. I also do intensive consultations where we may work together for 3-4 days straight. I watch the way you walk, the way you talk, how many times you repeat things, how many times you lean to the left or to the right. See, this is Ayurvedic medicine. Your body, the way you move, tells us a lot about you because 90% of communication is nonverbal. Once we can begin to change those pathways, and once we can do what they call pattern interrupts, it changes the way you are, the way you live. Because through habits, you are moving and talking and saying things and living and eating in a certain rhythm. And when you do that rhythm within 28 days, within the circadian rhythms, it becomes a hardened habit. So we help people break habits. We help people become healthy, wealthy, and wise. If you would like to become healthy, wealthy, and wise, and if you're ready to move out of a fear paradigm or an anger paradigm or a broke paradigm or a loneliness paradigm, then join us. Come with us. We are builders and we all must work together. Once again, elevationtime.com. Elevationtime.com. My phone number is 323-931-1212. That's 323-931-1212. We are in the Atlanta area. That's where my office is now. But I do visit other places like Detroit, and I do a lot of work in Los Angeles. So just follow us. Just go to the website, join up on the email list. Check me out on Facebook. I usually have some decent things to say that people seem to like. This is new to me, the whole blab thing. I mean, this is cool. Thank you, Chief Kai. Chief, I done turned you to Chief. Chief Kyer. You know, we met at the wine master's house, and you weren't even there. But I felt your energy. I've been to where you lived, and you weren't there 3, 4, 5, 6 times. You see, so we are supposed to do this journey together, and we're going to stop going to work. No more work. It's time to play. Have fun. Stop mentioning work. Stop mentioning all that talk, because work to the subconscious is the same as war. War. Work is war. War is even the word worship means war ship. A ship of war. So let's stop battling ourselves. Travel light. You don't need all that luggage. Thank you, brother. Thank you, sisters and brothers all over the world. Let's do it big. Do it globally. You are now in the photon band. Don't let it go to waste. The energy is a terrible thing to waste. The mind is a terrible thing to waste. Your life is a terrible thing to waste. Don't be a terrorizer. Live life. Be joyful. Make love. Make love. Create love. Be love. Be loving. Be loved. I love you. Travel light.
Yeah. Dr. B, we're going to holler. All right. Open up this seat right here. I know Dr. B fell up. He had to bounce, but I'm gonna stay on for just a second. I want to hear some feedback. You know what I'm saying? I definitely appreciate everybody who's following Dr. B, who's following Coach Kyer. But I like to always poll my audience. What could I do better? What kind of shows do y'all want to see? Could I get Dre if you want to jump back in, or Seven if you want to jump in, or Lauren if you want to get in? Anybody who wants to jump back in right now, I just want to have
just making